Good afternoon and a very warm welcome once again to the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club. This a momentous day because this is the final day of the inaugural BAHRAIN Turf Series. Ali Vance alongside me here in the paddock to shepherd you through 8 fantastic races, 2 of which, Ali, are the final legs of this inaugural series.
Yeah, this 10-race series has been running right through from the middle of December through to today. Each race worth £50,000. The first year that this has taken place in Bahrain, and so far the local trainers have very much dominated the series. They've won all 8 races so far. So final 2 chances here today. We have the SAKHIR Cup over 7 furlongs and then the Vision 2030 Cup over 10 furlongs.
Yeah, we will also be awarding prizes to the owner and trainer of the divisional champions in each of these final 2 legs. That's an extra prize money haul of £50,000. So Ali and I will be with you throughout the afternoon. We'll be hearing from Tom Stanley very shortly, but first of all, the man who'll be calling all 8 races here at SAKHIR Racecourse this afternoon, Mr. Darren Owen.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, and a warm welcome to you all here for races 9 and 10 of this inaugural Bahrain Turf Series. 2 very competitive races there to conclude what has been a wonderful competition over the last few months. And the big question is, are the internationals going to have their names in lights today? Because it's been a dominant display from local trainers Hisham Al-Haddad and Alan Smith. So that's to look forward to. Conditions out on the track, they look really good at the moment. Good to firm ground. We're racing on the outer track. That's the main track for this 8-race programme. So let's have a look now at what we're looking forward to today. 8 races beginning with the Arabian Breds in action going 1,600 metres. That's race 1. Race 2 on the card is the His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. The trip there is again 1,600 metres, the milers to the 4. Third race on the card, we're on the straight track, 1,200 metres, the journey for the locally bred horses here. Big field as well going to post for that. 15 of them for His Highness the Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. 4th race, and dash 1,000 metres on the straight course here. Really good competitive heat, 3-year-olds and upwards, the imported thoroughbreds there. And then we move on to the Turf Series. The penultimate Turf Series race is the Al Sakhir Cup. 1,400 metres is the trip for a big field of 16. And we conclude the Turf Series with the Vision 2030 Cup over 2,000 metres. Field of 10 facing the starter there. 7th race at 4:15 is the His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. A small field there going to post locally bred runners over 2,200, and we conclude with another race over the 2,200 for the imported thoroughbreds. So that is race 8. Let's have a look at the changes to today's card. These are the non-runners to report. Coming up in race 2, scratch number 4, Tofan. In the 4th race, the absentee there is number 7, Joe's Spirit. And then we're moving on to the first of the international races. Just to confirm, there is no need to call in the reserves. None of the reserves will get a run in our 5th contest. And race number 6, that is the final Turf Series race, the Vision 2030 Cup. Number 9, La Machina, is an absentee. We do have some jockey changes, 2 jockey changes to report, both involving George Wood in race number 4. The 12 horse there, that is Bright Armour, is now partnered by George Wood. And in the 5th race, the Al Sakhir Cup, George comes in for the ride aboard number 13, that is a Desert Gulf. So let's set the ball rolling with the Arabian Breds in race number 1 today. Coming up at 1:30, the His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. It's over 1,600 metres. Field of 5 going to post. Number 1 is Kuhailan Afas 1695, partnered by Abdullah Faisal. Number 2, Kuhailan Zorea. This horse really in good form, and Hussein Maki is the jockey. jockey. 3 is Al-Hamdani and Ibrahim Nada. 4, Kuhailin Avas 1708 and Hassan Al-Safa. And number 5, Obeyan and Rosie Jessup is in the saddle. So they are the 5 runners for the first race. The runners now in the paddock, so let's go paddock side to join Tom.
Darren, thanks very much indeed. Yeah, just to let you know about conditions out here. We're good to firm, unsurprisingly. That wind is just a little bit into them and across them. It's pretty minor, but they will probably feel it in the straight. It's a lovely day here, about 20 degrees, good to firm ground, turf in great condition. We'll head in the paddock now and just pick up a few of the horses. And turning our attention to horse number 1 over the far side. Lovely looking grey son of Al-Hamdani. This is Kuhailin Affas, mount of Abdullah Faisal. And this horse was in the race won by Obeyan when last seen. Looks very calm, very relaxed, making his way around. He's an 8-year-old now, so he knows what to do out here. And there's every chance that this distance will see him to slightly better effect than that third last time. The trouble is he's up against Obeyan, who he's bumped into a couple of times. So it remains to be seen whether or not he can trump that horse. Maybe this trip will give him a better chance. Behind is horse number 2, and that is Kuhailin Zorair. 2 in the race for this owner, and Hussein Marki's just got the leg up for Hesham Al-Haddad. This horse was also in the race with Obeyan last time. That was the back end of January, and then Obeyan went and won subsequently, so that's a good bit of form. Has a leading chance, you would imagine, although tackling this trip for the first time in a while. Number 3, Al-Hamdani behind Ibrahim Nada and Yusuf Al-Bawanian teaming up, and again, bit of form to find with Obeyan. Could be that this trip unlocks the key to him. This horse probably has a little bit to find though. It won't be easy, I wouldn't have thought, up against some classy Arabians in this race. Nice and relaxed, looks a nice animal in the flesh. This horse behind is a little bit away from the rest. Number 4 is Kuhailin Affas. He's over the other side of the paddock at the moment. He's got a little bit warm in behind. He's a little bit more on his toes than some of them, demeanour-wise, but he looks okay. Kuhailin Affas, said this a bit, was behind Obeyan last time. He's finished behind Obeyan a couple of times. He is one that I think the step up to 1600 might just suit for Yusuf Tahir and Hassan Al-Safa. And we'll find Obeyan as well, number 5. He's a nice animal in the flesh. He's got a bit of size on some of these. Quite a tall horse is Obeyan, and has been in very good form. Notably, 2 wins either side of that second to owner companion Kuhailin Zorair. The last win was in Group 3 company, and I don't think the step up in trip will necessarily be a problem either. I mean, physically, he's a pretty impressive looking horse, and he'd probably be my pick of the paddock for Rosie Jessup on board, who's having a really good season out here. So, that is your 5 in the paddock ahead of our opening race over 1600 metres. And we know that Darren Owen's going to call them home.
So, yes, Tom, the runners now are stepping out onto the course for our first of the day, the His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. It's over 1600 metres. We've got 5 Arabian bred runners then making their way to the start. Kuhailin Affas 1708 was the first one out on the track and runs in the red colours with the white striped sleeves, and Hassan Al-Safa takes the ride. Kuhailin Affas 1708 is followed to post by Kuhailin Affas 1695 in the blue and white colours, one of 3 greys in this field. Abdullah Faisal is aboard, number 1, Kuhailin Affas 1695. They're going to post very nicely. Steadily to post. The start for this race is in the top left-hand corner of the track in the 1600 metre chute. So the first 2 are out on the course. Let's have a look at the others then. And in the yellow and black stripes with the black cap is Obeyan, and Rosie Jessup is aboard. This horse who was a winner last time. 2 wins already on the board this calendar year for Obeyan. And Rosie Jessup in the black and yellow stripes with the black cap. And another grey is Kuhailin Zorair. Now this horse has been in really good form and is looking for his 5th straight win today. He's already won a couple of times this season, won a couple of times last season, so he's in fine fettle coming here. That's the grey in the black and yellow stripes, Kuhailin Zorair, and Hussein Maki is the jockey. And right at the back end of the field, the grey, another grey, Al-Hamdani, number 3, Al-Hamdani, and Ibrahim Nada is aboard. The last win for this horse was recorded in early December, and that's the grey in the grey colours with the white sleeves, number 3. So 5 runners making their way to the start for the first of our 8 races here on this big day at SAKHIR racecourse, and the first of them are just arriving at the starting point now. Good luck, enjoy your day with us here, and 5 Arabian bred runners just arriving at the starting point, horses that have been taking each other on over the last few weeks and few months. Let's join Ali.
Darren, thank you. Yes, runners arriving at the post then for this His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. 1,600 metre start, as Darren was saying. So they've got a milder run here. Ali, just 5 of them, but tight little race.
Yeah, a really good race this. This is a trial for the Arabian race on King's Cup Day, so a trial for the King's Cup Arabian race, and actually the first 4 home in the Crown Prince Cup lineup in this race. They've all got to beat number 2, KHALIFA Zoreya, who was a convincing winner of the Crown Prince's Cup. Really, really impressive. The best Arabian in training in Bahrain. So finishing in behind him that day was KHALIFA AFS 1708. Bayan is another one that finished in behind him, and number 1 KHALIFA AFS 1695. So those have all got to get the better of number 2 KHALIFA Zoreya. He is the one to beat. He's a 4-time winner. He's won all his career starts, and impressive in the Crown Prince's Cup back at the end of January.
But the big unknown today is which one of these is going to be most effective over a relatively new distance of 1,600 metres. They've mostly been running at 1,400 and 1,200. Just a question of whether that extra test can see them close the gap on KHALIFA Zoreya.
Yeah, and KHALIFA Zoreya is going to be ridden again by Hussein Maki, who's having a fantastic season. He's got 15 winners this season, sitting second in the table behind Neil Callan, who's leading on 17. This Bahraini jockey, Hussein Maki, he's really come to the fore this season. And he's got a great partnership with this horse, KHALIFA Zoreya,
who will come from stall 1 in this 1,600 metre race to open up our 8-race programme on this final day of the Bahrain Turf Series 2021-2022. Abdullah Faisal will be riding top 1 here, KHALIFA, Hussein Maki on KHALIFA Zoreya, Ibrahim Nada on Al-Hamdani, Hassan Al-Safar on KHALIFA Afas, and Rosie Jessup on Obayan. So watch your KHALIFAs here, very well represented. And they've got a prize fund of 3,000 to run for and 1,600 metres to run. On the outer track here this afternoon at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, and we are at post time for our opening race. A reminder that our 2 Turf Series races take place at 3:15 and 3:45, and the traditional features, the His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup at 4:15 and 4:40 local time. We'll be with you throughout the afternoon here.
So the runners down at the start, they'll be going forward shortly. So they have a nice run down the back straight before they leave the back. This race over 1,600 metres. Turn into the straight is around 600 metres. So I've got some old friends in this race, horses who have been taking each other on during the course of the season. And so they'll be going in very shortly. The 5 of them, KHALIFA Zoreya, a horse who is looking to win for the 5th straight time. Hussein Maki is aboard. So the loading up process getting underway, and the first of the runners to go in is one of the greys, KHALIFA Afas 1695, joined by another grey, Al-Hamdani. as Cahalan Nafas 1708 slots into place. Obeyan goes in, and Cahalan Zorea, the last one to load. That's it, they're ready to go. So they're all in. And they're racing over the 1600-meter journey. Away smartly enough was Al-Hamdani to the inside. Cahalan Nafas 1695, though taking over instantly. Cahalan Nafas 1695 with Al-Hamdani just in behind. Obeyan not getting any cover, but going forward for Rosie Jessup in the black cap to the outside. Cahalan Nafas 1708 is getting plenty of cover, as is Cahalan Zorea. So they continue their work down the far side with around about 5 or 6 lengths first to last, and Obeyan has now taken over, leads by a length to Cahalan Nafas 1695. Cahalan Nafas 1708 in the red jacket is following. Al-Hamdani locked away to the inside, and rather keen there at the back end of the field is Cahalan Zorea, with Hussein Maki just trying to switch Cahalan Zorea off to get the horse to settle. 800 metres left to go. They're heading now towards the turn into the straight, and it is Obeyan who is in front, leads by about a half length to Cahalan Nafas 1708. Cahalan Nafas 1695 is about a length and a half further back, chased by Cahalan Zorea, and Al-Hamdani has dropped to last place, and they're homeward bound. They have less than 600 to go, and the dash for home underway with Obeyan in front by 1.5 lengths and just hanging over to the inside running rail. Cahalan Nafas 1695 needs a gear change, then Cahalan Nafas 1708, and on the wide outside Cahalan Zorea is trying to get on terms, trying to add another win to the collection, but at the moment is just struggling to make a big impression inside the last 200. It's Obeyan in front, Obeyan from Cahalan Nafas 1695, and now Cahalan Zorea is beginning to run on inside the last 100 metres as they go close home. It's Obeyan who's trying to hold on. Obeyan holds on. Obeyan the winner. Cahalan Zorea disputed for places with Cahalan Nafas 1695. Cahalan Nafas 1708 follows, and Al-Hamdani was the last one to clock in. So Obeyan has taken out our first race of the day. We were talking about Cahalan Zorea coming here in good form. Well, Obeyan has also been in a good form this calendar year. That's the third win for Obeyan. Rosie Jessup there allowed Obeyan to go on halfway down the back straight, kicked at the top of the home run, edged over to the inside running rail, but they were all hard at work to mount a challenge. Cahalan Zorea coming down the centre of the course, but Obeyan doing enough in the hands of Rosie Jessup close home to take out our first race of the day. Good effort from Obeyan, a horse who is very consistent and certainly knows how to win races. Obeyan the winner.
Reunited with Rosie Jessup, Obeyan has reversed the form from his last meeting with Cahalan Zorea. Cahalan Zorea, who would have been heavily favoured today after that runaway 3-length victory over today's winner, Obeyan. But Obeyan it was that sought out this 1600-metre distance the better. Had the assistance of the rail, some fresh ground against the rail, and a strong drive from Rosie Jessup, and in spite of a somewhat awkward head carriage, galloped on too strongly in what proved ultimately, Tom, a thrilling finish to our opener.
Yeah, it was easily 3 in with a chance at this stage, and just a bit too much to do, probably Cahalan Zorea, and Obeyan's got a lovely ride from Rosie Jessup. Wondered if the horse was keen, wondered if he was on the front end sort of by accident as opposed to design, but Rosie Jessup seemed very happy with where she was. That's an 8th winner of the season. She's going along at a 30% strike rate, and she was keen, Nick, here to just get over to that rail, help keep the horse straight, and I suppose the only question was whether he'd have enough left at the finish, but he did.
Hussein Maki might well have ridden this horse, but for the fact that he really had to ride Cahalan Zorea today. That left Rosie Jessup to resume her partnership with Obeyan, out of whom she clearly gets an extremely good tune. It never really looked as though Cahalan Zorea was going to get there, just inching into the deficit close to the finishing line, but never really threatened to get there. And I think we can join Ali now, who is with the winning rider.
Yeah, let's have a word with Rosie Jessup. Congratulations, Rosie. How helpful was having that rail?
Thank you. Helps this horse a lot. He hung a couple of starts ago with me, but just bagging that rail.
Let's hear from you again, Rosie. Just how helpful was that rail?
It was very helpful. This horse.
Yeah, we will try and get a word with Rosie, just having a few technical issues with our sound out on course at the moment, but it was a good ride from Rosie Jessup, and I think we're going to give it another try now. Hopefully we've got sound from the winning rider.
Third time lucky, Rosie. You didn't need all that help with him. How helpful, as I said, was the rail? How did the race pan out for you?
With this little horse, it's very helpful to have that rail. Just keeps him nice and straight. He hung bad with me a couple of starts ago, but yeah, it helps a lot.
And satisfying to obviously reverse the placings with the horse that beat you in the Crown Prince's Cup.
Absolutely, I think that's mixed things up for the King's Cup to come.
It certainly has. It's spicing it up for the season. And how do you rate this one?
I think he's one of the best around. You know, him and the other horse, Quail's Rare, they're very close. There's not much in between them.
It's really building up to a cracking King's Cup then on the 11th of March. Well done to Rosie Jessup winning today's trial then on BAHRAIN.
So BAHRAIN takes the money there in our first race of the day, and the provisional placings have been announced. First, number 5, BAHRAIN. Second, number 2, KHALIFA Zarea. Third, number 1, KHALIFA Afas 1695. And fourth, number 4, KHALIFA Afas 1708. That is the provisional results.
So here is the winner of our first race today on this final day of the Bahrain Turf Series. This was the purebred Arabian race, the His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. It was a Grade 2 race, and it was won by BAHRAIN in the silks of KHK Racing, bred by the Al Rudha stud. Another victory here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club for Hesham Al Haddad, how he has dominated this season, and Rosie Jessup, the winning rider.
Well, let's have a word with winning trainer Hesham Al Haddad, part of the Fawzi Nas stable. Trained the first 2 home, and BAHRAIN obviously getting the better of KHALIFA Zarea, reversing those places from the Crown Prince's Cup. Did that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise us much because I think they're 2 rivals. Each one is beating the other. We're happy that one of them is not with an outsider stable, that they're both with us, so we can secure wins in there. I think BAHRAIN ran very well. Rosie managed to handle it, even though there wasn't the pace that we were desiring. But at the end, KHALIFA tried to come in, but BAHRAIN was too good today.
It's really setting it all up nicely for the King's Cup then mid-March as well, isn't it?
Yes, that's a big cup that we are looking for actually, and I think most of the stable prepare their horses for that day.
And today is also a big day. We've got the final 2 Bahrain Turf Series races. You, of course, have got many runners in both of the races throughout the afternoon. Can you pick which one of the leading fancies do you think from your stable in these 2 races?
Well, I would think that Zagato will be standing out today, but we're putting good trust in Deep Intrigue as well.
Brilliant. Thank you very much to winning trainer Hesham Al Haddad, part, as I said, the Fawzi Nas stable, winning this opening race, and he no doubt will be back in this winner's enclosure more times this afternoon.
So the official result is in first number 5 Ubayan, second number 2 Kuhailan Zarea, and third number 1 Kuhailan Afas 1695, and they've weighed in for race 1.
The presentation after the running of our first race, the His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. Delighted to welcome to the presentation podium His Highness Sheikh Faisal bin Rashid Al Khalifa, who is the Vice President of the Supreme Council for the Environment and the Deputy Chairman of the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, presenting the trophy now to owners KHK Racing, to rider Rosie Jessup, and to winning trainer, yep, he's done it again, Hesham Al Haddad. Ubayan, the winner of our opening race.
So coming up, the second race at Yofa 155, the His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. Note we do have a scratching here. Number 4 Tofan is a non-runner. Let's go through the field of 7, going 1600 metres. The locally bred thoroughbreds in action. Number 1, that is We Won It 6 times, and that one partnered by Edison Rodriguez. Number 2 is Safwa, and Safwa is the mount of Ibrahim Nada. Number 3 is Shorwash and Lewis Edmonds. Take out number 4 Tofan, that's the non-run. Number 5 is Madar and Hussein Maki. Number 6 is Al Afor, and Al Afor is the mount of Hassan Al Safar. Number 7 is Munafis and George Wood, and number 8 is Topaz, and Owen Walsh takes the ride there. Spot of overweight, I believe, as well. Number 7 Munafis, the weight now 55.5 kilograms, and number 8 Topaz is carrying 57, I believe, 57 kilograms for the 8-horse Topaz. So a little bit of overweight. Race 2 coming shortly.
Runners in the paddock then, right in front of you for this second race, the His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. And we are going to take them in race card order. And we'll start with number 1 then, in the red hood. This is We Won It 6 times. Eddie Rodriguez taking the ride for local trainer, a high-profile trainer, Alan Smith, in the colours of M&E Racing. Has a good rapport with this rider, indeed won first time under Eddie Rodriguez. 2 starts to go over 1,400 metres, steps up to 1,600 today. Ali.
Horse number 2, Safwa, another horse that's won 3 times in her career. Ibrahim Nada takes a handy 2 kilograms off this one. He rode her last time when we saw this horse mid-January, finishing in 3rd behind Batmobile. So horse number 2 is Safwa, trained by Hada Ibrahim and ridden by Ibrahim Nada.
Next horse you can have a look at, looks very well today too, is number 3, Shawash, entire by Mukadram. Lewis Edmonds taking the ride for Alan Smith. Looks the stable second string today, finishing well beaten behind Alejandro in a small field grade 2 last time. Slight step down in grade today.
Listen, there is horse number 5, Madar, trained by Jafar Radi and ridden by Hussein Maki. And Hussein Maki paired up with this one when we last saw them 2 weeks ago, finishing in 3rd behind We Won It 6 times. So got to reverse the form with that horse in this race. So horse number 5 looks well, that's Madar.
6 is Al Afur, who wears the cheek pieces today for Al Afur Racing, Ibrahim Al Afur and Mohammed Saeed. A horse who is stepping back in distance, which is unusual in this race. We know he's going to stay. Whether he's quite good enough is another matter altogether.
Horse number 7, Munafis, trained by Hada Ibrahim, ridden by George Wood today in the MKAR colours. This horse having his first run today, so debut for horse number 7, Munafis.
And number 8, finally, is Topaz for His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Abdullah bin Isa Al Khalifa. Hada Ibrahim takes the ride. Owen Walsh, Hada Ibrahim, I should say, trains this horse. Owen Walsh takes the ride and ran a pretty respectable debut here in Bahrain last time and is entitled to step up from that.
خلاص بدون الحين شوف اطبخ زي الركوب وما تنافسين وصليتين ولا صليتين هو زاد واحد ناصر لا ديفيد نيل عنده اثنين وين سوى يكون نيل في الاخر.
So the runners are coming out onto the track for the second race. His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup, the non-run number 4 Tofan, and the first one out on the course in the red and white half jacket is we won it 6 times. Number 1, we won it 6 times, and Edison Rodriguez takes the ride. And that one followed by Safwat, number 2, has the pale blue silks, and Ibrahim Nada is the jockey. The pale blue jacket. So runners then just filing out onto the course, and as they do so, let's now join Tom with Stan Moore.
Yeah, Stan Moore with me. Doesn't have a runner here, but he's been ever present out here at Bahrain. Have you enjoyed your time, first of all, Stan?
Yeah, it's been very good. The people have been very good. Everybody's been very helpful. And touch wood, we've had a little bit of success, which always helps as well too.
Well, yeah, exactly. You brought a decent amount of horses out here, so it's great to be rewarded with success. Is it something you think you'll do year upon year now after your time out here?
Yes, we will do. This year's been a learning curve. Hopefully we'll all learn from it. It's been very tough. The locals haven't made it easy for us. And, you know, I think the Bahrain racing is really on the up and up. So we'll have to up our game for next year, I think.
Horse you've tasted success with out here is Magical Wish, who runs in the SAKHIR Cup. What chance?
Yeah, he run well. He's been very consistent. Dropping him back to 7 furlongs will be a help to him. He didn't really stay the mile and 1. But it's an ultra-competitive race to finish off with, which we all want, isn't it? Yeah?
And you've also got Wonder Elzarm. Decent draw?
He's got a better draw than the other lads. He was second in the apprentice race here. Was a bit unlucky because the horse that beat him won by about 10 lengths next time out. So we were a bit unlucky there. But the apprentice rode him very well. Hussein Akbal, I think is how you pronounce it.
It was Mubadil that beat him. You had Hussein Ashkar on. I mean, that's a good bit of form, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a good bit of form. But he's in top order. Again, it's an ultra. I think whatever horse gets luck and running in that race will be the one that will win that game.
Just on the race programme out here, how have you found getting used to it? Has it taken, from your point of view, getting horses in certain races, has it taken a bit of getting used to it? It must do, given it's a different jurisdiction.
I think most of the European horses took their first run to get used to it. The pace is very fast here early on compared to England, and it takes a few runs to really get into it. But I think today, the Europeans we've got a good chance of bagging the races like all of us. We're firing every dart at the board, as they say, yeah?
Exactly. Stan, great to catch up. Hopefully chat again later.
Thank you very much.
So the runners are arriving at the start for our second race. So we've spoken about number 1. We won it 6 times in the red and white half jacket. Safwan, the pale blue colours for Haider Ibrahim, well represented in this race as well. Stable also have Munafis. Munafis is in the purple jacket with the white chevron. George Wood is aboard. Knowing Walsh aboard. Topaz has got the light blue colours with the black cap. So they're just arriving at the start. Allah 4 is number 6. Allah 4 has the red with the black chevron, and in the grey colours, with the lighter cap, that's Shorwash, Lewis Edmonds for Alan Smith. Number 3, that is Shorwash, who won on New Year's Eve. And the one runner I haven't spoken about is Madar, number 5, a white with the red star, the silks for Madar. So 7 of them have arrived at the 1600 metre start for race number 2. Let's rejoin Nick and Ali.
So runners assembling down at the post for this 155, the His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. 3,500 total race value here, and once again the distance is a mile, and once again, as in our opening race today, plenty of these horses have been doing most of their racing over 7 furlongs, but we race on the outer track today. Ali, who would be your idea of the winner? I thought We Won It 6 times might win again.
Yeah, I think in the absence of number 4, Taufan, We Won It 6 times is the one to beat. He's beaten quite a number of these horses already, and as you can see, this race is for classes 3, 4 and maiden horses, so it's a real big spread of experience, and We Won It 6 times. He's a 3-time career winner, as is Safwa, right down to horse number 7, who's having his racecourse debut, and horse number 8's only run once. So I think the experience of those top 2 will certainly help today. In terms of the draw, that is relatively important over this 1600 metres, but with only the 7 runners in it, it shouldn't be too important with We Won It 6 times coming out of stall number 6.
Yep, We Won It 6 times for Alan Smith. I think it could be a Smith exacta here as well, with Shawash proving the main danger. I thought he looked extremely well in the paddock, and Lewis Edmonds is taking the ride. Today taking over from Eddie Rodriguez, who I presume has chosen to ride We Won It 6 times.
And Lewis Edmonds came out a couple of weeks ago and had an amazing time here. He's probably got one of the best strike rates here at the Rashid Equestrian Horse Racing Club. He had 3 winners over the weekend, over those 2 days, plenty in the colours of Al Nuwaif Racing. So he's back out here again. He's not a jockey that's based in Bahrain. He's here for the day, coming in and hoping to pick up some more prize money and do as well as he did a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, okay, we're nearly at post time then for our second race, due off at 1:55. Thanks to our sponsors here today, Batelco, NAS, BBK, Business Friendly Bahrain, the Al Salam Bank, for their generous support of this race course and the Bahrain Turf Series. And Batelco will be supporting our 2 key races this afternoon, the Al SAKHIR Cup and the Vision 2030 Cup. And they will be off at 3:15 and 3:45 respectively. This race due off at 1:55 local time, the His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup, and 7 go to post now in the absence of Taufan. That opens up the race a shade, but certainly you feel gives Alan Smith, the already prolific Alan Smith, another great chance of striking one back on Hesham Al Haddad, who won the opening race. And between them, they have won 8 of the Turf Series races this season. So Darren, it's back up to you. It's all yours as they begin the loading process very shortly.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, runners then just circling behind the starting stalls. They'll be loading shortly. So Hesham Al Haddad won our first race, so that takes him on to the 51 winner mark for the season. Alan Smith on the 27 winner mark for this season in Bahrain. Alan Smith then represented by We Won It 6 times and Shorwash here. And runners then are preparing to go into the starting stalls for the His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. The blindfold has been fitted to Shorwash. It's just getting a little bit warm down there in the preliminaries. Shorwash and Lewis Edmonds. Shorwash, who was a winner here on New Year's Eve. So the blindfold has been fitted to Shorwash for stalls entry. Also, I think with the blindfold is Topaz as well. Topaz number 8, and blindfold going on Safwa. So a few of them just needing some aids to go into the starting stalls. And it looks as though they are now about to move into position. Munafis, the debutante, will go into stall number 7, so has the outside berths. That one goes in. Alafor, on the other hand, is drawn closest to the running rail. Alafor and Edison Rodriguez moves into place. So that's 2 of them into the gates. 2, Safwa. Moving up to stall number 8. Extreme outside, Safwa. Shorwash goes in, Madar loading. And we won it 6 times. Slot into place. And that will leave Topaz to complete the lineup. Going into stall number 3. So Topaz still out of line for this 1600 metre assignment. Topaz and Owen Walsh going forward. And that's it, they're all in, locked away for race 2. 1600 metres in front of them. And the gates crash back and they're racing. Topaz began sharply. Very green at the start was Munafis, the newcomer, just edged out to his left. Has just been rousted along at the back end of the field. So as they move on down the far side, it is We Won It 6 times in the centre. Topaz black cap, then just slotting in behind the leader. Light blue colours of Safwa now moving up. Shorwash just in behind them, followed by Alafor in the red and black. Madar is locked away to the running rail, and Munafis being pushed along down the back to get going. Firstly at school for Munafis, the back marker, leaving the back straight behind them in excess of 800 metres still to travel, and it is We Won It 6 times has got the lead by about a half length to Safwa in second place. Alafor is parked out, running 3 wide into the turn. Topaz to the inside of Shorwash, then Madar, and Munafis is the back marker, would be about 6 lengths off the pace setters as they prepare now to turn the final corner. So 600 metres left to go. We Won It 6 times has got Safwa for company in the pale blue colours. A break then of about 3 lengths to Alafor. These are being followed by Topaz, who's trying to get competitive. They run down towards the final 400. We Won It 6 times and Safwa. They're being followed by Topaz, Alafor, Shorwash. Further back to Madar and the back marker Munafis, and they hit the 200 metre marker then. And on the wide outside, it is Topaz who comes to the party and hits the front from Safwa. The stable are not bothered. They've got a stable 1-2 going towards the finish, and Topaz now dashing right away. Wins with authority. Topaz the winner. Close places with Safwa joined by Shorwash, and then several lengths. We Won It 6 times. Alafor, Madar and Munafis. So Topaz has won it. Topaz, Owen Walsh dashed right away. That was pretty impressive actually visually, watching this horse go about his business this afternoon. Topaz just dashing right away in the run to the line. And We Won It 6 times. They're just dropping away. Safwa made a good fist of things, but there was certainly no match here for the stable companion in the hands of Owen Walsh. Second career starter for Topaz, and that was pretty impressive visually.
Very impressive. Lightly raced, unexposed, stepping up significantly on that Bahrain debut for Owen Walsh and Haida Abraham. Walsh, who looked extremely assured and tidy in the saddle here, and bringing this gelding with a perfectly timed challenge to overhaul the 2 Alan Smiths when the Smith duo burst clear at the top of the lane here. Tom, I thought it was going to be the exacta. Shorwash just getting the better of We Won It 6 times, but right over the top of them came Topaz with a withering run.
10 for the season for the trainer Haida Ibrahim, and this horse scored pretty comfortably, isn't he? He's seen it out very well over the 1600 metres, very lightly raced, but a job well done for this 3-year-old. They really slingshot into that straight, don't they? And the rail's out, they're on nicely fresh ground. Wasn't sure how easy it was going to be to get involved from off the pace, particularly given what we saw in our opening race, Nick, but Owen Walsh has got this spot on and delivered the horse at exactly the right time. He's won pretty cosily, could go on from that.
Yeah, let's hear how it was done. The winning rider is now with Ali.
Yeah, let me have a word with winning jockey Owen Walsh. Congratulations, Owen, your 3rd victory this season in Bahrain. I know this horse is a bit of a quirky one, but we'll try and get a few words from you. Pleased with that, obviously?
Yeah, no, he's a bit of a handful. I only sat on him for the 2nd time today. I rode him work through the morning. I thought he worked nicely, but he really showed his ability today. I'm very pleased for Sheikh Abdullah. It's another nice local bred horse for him.
Yeah, is he the type of horse that you just have to get him right mentally as much as physically?
I think he'll learn the more he grows. When he grows up, the more racing he has. You know, he's a nice a nice easy time there. Yeah, he's looking to be a bit playful, but yeah, no, he's good. Very pleased.
So he's certainly a character. I'm going to let you go before I get completely squashed. Well done to Owen Walsh then, winning of our second race aboard Topaz.
So the provisional placings for race 2, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. First, number 8, Topaz. Second, number 2, Safwa. Third, number 3, Shorwash. And fourth, number 1, We Won It 6 times. So a good result there for Haida Ibrahim with the 1-2. Topaz, the winner, partnered by Owen Walsh.
So coming in now in front of the grandstand, the winner of our second race. Good-looking horse, Topaz, and Owen Walsh, and needed most of this 1,600-metre distance. I think this is going to be a minimum for him. And they went hard at it, racing early, the Smith pair, and that opened it up nicely. But he's significantly the least experienced of these, and you think still open to a fair bit more improvement. Racing in the colours of His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Abdullah bin Isa Al Khalifa, and bred by the Al Muzdaha stud. For Haida Ibrahim and Owen Walsh, Topaz, the winner of race 2.
So the official result of race 2 is first number 8 Topaz, second number 2 Safwa, third number 3 Shorwash, and fourth, just for the record there, was number 1 We Won It 6 times, and that is the official result. So they've weighed in for race 2.
And so the presentation of the His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup has just taken place. And our thanks to His Highness Sheikh Faisal bin Rashid Al Khalifa, the Vice President of the Supreme Environment Council, and the Chairman, Vice Chairman of the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club. Well, the Bahrain Turf Series has been broadcast far and wide around the world, and I'm joined by one of the men responsible for that, Seb Vance, who is the Director of Communications and International Distribution for Racecourse Media Group. Seb, how have you found this winter in Bahrain, a new venture for the company?
Yeah, well, firstly, Nick, it's been a great honour to be involved and working alongside the Rashid Equestrian Horse Racing Club. And we're working with our partners, Timeline, and we're overseeing all the TV production and the TV distribution. So what that means is we are teaming up with broadcasters around the world to make sure that Bahrain racing has the shop window it merits, and we've had really, really positive take-up. It's obviously been a short space of time, but we started our partnership back in 2019 when we distributed the first Bahrain International Trophy, and obviously we've had two running since, and the interest is just growing tremendously year on year. And to give you an idea of some of the broadcasters that are showing Bahrain racing, there's Fox Sports in the US, which is one of the big sports channels in America. There's ESPN in Latin America, Super Sports in Africa, Dubai Racing Channel, Yas TV in Abu Dhabi, Match in Russia, and the list goes on, Sportsmax in the Caribbean. So there's interest all across the world, and also we've had interest in Asia and Japan, where the Green Channel has shown the race as well, and in Australia, so all corners of the globe covered. And it's something we just need to keep building year on year.
And has that translated through to this Turf Series?
Well, the Turf Series is being shown by Sky Sports Racing and Racing TV in the UK and Ireland. Obviously, it's mainly British and Irish runners who've been competing here. So those two channels have been giving the series a lot of a good prominence and a good shop window. The racing's also been shown in the Middle East, in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and obviously Bahrain TV as well. But the more international the series comes, the more appealing it is to international broadcasters.
Seb, thanks so much.
Thanks, Nick.
Seb Vance, the Director of Communications and International Distribution for Racecourse Media Group, responsible for broadcasting this event and particularly the Bahrain International Trophy around the world to all those extremely important racing territories. Now we are welcoming an international audience here to the Rashid Equestrian Horse Racing Club today, and one horse who is already guaranteed success, as he's been one of the most prolific and consistent horses here this season, is the William Jarvis Newmarket trained Arcoob, who is owned by Richard Banks, whose daughter Emma has had a fine season with her own Lady Bothorpe, who's now in foal, and she's been talking to us about her journey to Bahrain.
The turf looks fantastic and everyone says it rides really well, and the hospitality so far has been incredible. Everyone's so friendly, so helpful. Jamie Osborne's become a de facto tour guide, which is going quite well, gotta say. He's got a career there. But no, having a lovely time.
And you're here to watch your horse Arcoob. Have you been watching every race in England?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a very civilised time in England to watch, and it's on two channels, so you can't miss it. And actually the live streaming as well is fantastic. I think the Bahrain website is just it's top notch. It's actually probably one of the best in the world I've ever encountered, which has been really special. But no, it's been fantastic, and he's just been so consistent. The horse belongs to my father. He's been a dream, I think. Clearly the horse likes it here, that's for sure.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he couldn't be more consistent in every run. I mean, let's hope tomorrow that he might be able to finally get that win.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? To go out on top would be wonderful, because he needs to win, because he's then going to go home to the drizzle and the cold and the rain and everything else. So yeah, to end, beautiful day, fabulous race, will be fun.
And there is this additional prize money that gets awarded at the end of the series. He is currently top of Pot B, which is over the 9-10 furlong race category, and he looks like he can't be caught.
That's what the maths is telling us, which is fantastic, really exciting. You know, what a fantastic little bonus, you know, to keep him out here. And I think he hasn't won yet, but he's been so ultra consistent and passed a lot of horses. And it's a really interesting way, I think, that the points are worked out and makes for a competitive series.
As an owner, you'll get an additional 15 grand, and your trainer, William Jarvis, gets an additional 10.
He clearly can train remotely. You know, he got the horse in top condition to come over here. James Bosley, who's here looking after Arcoob, has done a fantastic job and really cares about him as well. You know, I think takes him out for walks and they have long chats, which is not romantic, but quite charming. You can't be disappointed, can you, when you go home with prize money from races, prize money from the league table, and a lovely trip out to Bahrain. And I believe we've probably caught some of the best of the weather.
So coming up, we've got a race on the straight course now. It's over 1,200 metres for the locally bred runners. Field of 15. Let's go through them. Number 1, Miblish. Number 2 is Carolina Reaper. 3, Mudalal. 4, Mukhtar. 5, Racine. 6, Torpedo. 7 is Zuman. 8 is Al Jayat, subject of a jockey change. Jimmy Quinn now rides number 8, Al Jayat. Number 9 is Istishara. 10, Jalamid. 11, Maham. 12, Shalfa. 13, Stylish. 14 is Wakia. And 15 is Zihawa. So we're on the straight course, 1,200 metres the journey.
So stars of the future potentially in this His Highness Sheikh Hamad bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. Horse you're looking at on the big screen now is number 3, Mudalal. Neil Callan has been enjoying his time here in Bahrain. Hugely successful rider in the UK initially, and then a very productive spell, fruitful spell for several years in the extraordinarily tough jockeys colony in Hong Kong. He did extremely well. Now is plying his trade in Bahrain this winter, and this horse Mudalal, he's taking the ride here from Paddy Mathers, who's not riding today. He's got the advantage of a little bit of experience. He's also got the advantage of some pretty good form and a notable step up from his debut to his second start. And that should see him, all things being equal, run a pretty bold race here. He's got to contend with stall 11, so a wideish draw and a drop down in distance. But he hasn't looked short of pace on the 2 runs that we've seen so far. So he'd certainly be right at the top of the shortlist here. Number 3, Mudalal, for this 2:20 race, with perhaps Racine the main danger.
Yeah, let's have a look at horse number 5, Racine, who's going down to the start. You can see it just in front of the parade ring there in the blue colours. Ibrahim Nada rides this one for Hada Ibrahim. There amongst the group there. That's Racine. It had one start back at the end of December, finishing in 6th. But that was his racecourse debut, so looking for some improvement today. Ibrahim Nada then takes off a handy 2 kilograms. He's been having a fantastic season, one of the leading jockeys, as his trainer Hada Ibrahim. So horse number 5, Racine, could be a danger to Mudalal for Neil Callan and Hisham Al-Haddad.
Cantering down, we've had a look at Mudalal and we've had a look here at Racine. Or to have a look at Maham, number 11, George Wood taking the ride for Hada Ibrahim. And George Wood taking all Paddy Mathers' intended rides here today. This filly in the colours of His Highness Sheikh Hamad bin Abdullah bin Isa Al Khalifa, and was a respectable 5th on her debut. And stays at 6 furlongs today, 1,200 metres. So there we are, runners heading down to post. A lot of unraced horses here making their debuts. And plenty who've had relatively little experience. And the race is due off at 2:20.
So a field of 15 making their way to the straight 1,200 metre start. Miblish looked rather sort of edgy on the course, but he has consented to go down to the start now. Runners then going to post steadily. Looking at the horses there in shot in the grey and yellow jacket, that's Mukhtar, number 4 Mukhtar. Quite a few horses in pale blue colours here. Racine has the chevron jacket with the light blue cap. And that one is going to post alongside Istishara. Istishara in the blue Diablo with the light blue cap. And 2 sets of pink and grey, Shalfa and Zihawa. Shalfa's got the pink colours with the grey cap, and Zihawa's got the pink cap. Red and white halved of Carolina Reaper. Remember, Jimmy Quinn now comes in for the rider board Al Jayat. So runners now arriving at the start, and that's where we'll find Tom Stanley.
Darren. Yeah, we've got one horse down here at the moment because he's just got the horse who's got a little bit of experience. He's actually over on the other side of the turf track at the moment. What we will do is pick up the horse just walking down towards us now. This is a daughter of Blue Snake, I should say. Stylish. She is very lightly raced, just had the one go so far. You can see she's got a little bit warm. She looked a bit, I'd say, edgy as over fresh on the way down to the start, as Nick had pointed out. Plenty of lightly raced horses we've got down here, a couple of unraced ones as well. And Stylish, the mount of Edison Rodriguez for Alan Smith. We'll see how she goes. To our right, we can see horse number 8. There's John Egan on board. And that is Al Jayat. Now, she has got pretty warm. You can see she's sweating under that saddlecloth there. She's heading behind the stall. She's got that red hood on as well, which will be, certainly whipped off. It won't. She is meant to run in that hood, so that will stay on. Number 2, right in front of us here, that's Carolina Reaper. That's named after my favourite chili. Oh, she's whipped around. They're the hottest in the world, incidentally, if anyone cares. Carolina Reaper. He's a son of Blue Snake. Julio Garcia on board, another one for Alan Smith. Has had one go so far, may well improve on that. Number 14 to our right, a nice looking horse, I thought. Will probably improve for the run, just looking at him there, but he's a nice enough looking animal, is Wakia, under Hassan Al-Safa. David Egan, round to our left, is on horse number 1. He's had a really good time of it out here. That's Miblish, one of the most experienced, so we'll be looking to put that to good use. And we'll pick up just a couple more going behind. Let's have a look at number 5, and that is Racine under Empanada. Racine, who has had one go in the race won by Tariq last time, may well improve for that go. And last one going behind the stalls will be Mukhtar under Ali Samir, number 4, as a son of Happy Today. Pretty neat, compact little thing is Mukhtar. I'd say one of the smallest in the field. And again, has had one go, was a bit disappointing on the face of that, has a visor on now, so we'll be hoping for a little bit better. Nice big field we've got here, as Mukhtar's just having a think about it. It's the assistant starter come over just to tighten up a bit of the tack and maybe adjusting the height of his irons here. I'm not sure. He's got his left in and his right out at this stage. I wonder if he's just doing that. Or just tightening things up underneath. But yeah, Mukhtar with one go under his belt will certainly want to improve on that. It may be that the drop back in trip helps a touch. And yes, it's just a little tack adjustment. I think he's just raising the irons a touch here. And the horse is pretty keen to crack on with things, so he'll be going in behind very shortly. The loading process isn't just underway as yet, but we're over the 1,200 metres. Then next up, we're going to be heading a couple of hundred metres up the track for the 1,000-metre start. And you can see the rider's just hopped off Ali Samir. There's a 3-pound claimer. Then he will be getting back on board. This horse isn't loving this, but it's got to be done. And then he'll head in behind the stalls. He'll go into stall number 10. Be interesting to see if they explore the full width of the track here, because we've got the field, a nice big field, and the stalls, as you can see, they come nearly over to the near side. So there's not exactly a long way over to head to this near side rail. In our subsequent contests, is over 1,000 metres, again, we've got a nice big field. So I wonder if that'll play out and whether it might pay to race one side or the other. May just depend on where the pace is, but we shall see. So all is well, it seems, with Mukhtar and Ali Samir back on board, heading behind the stalls, and the loading process will start pretty shortly, I'd say. We can get up as they're circling behind the stalls and rejoin Darren Owen.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, so runners down at the start. We're talking about how this race will unfold and where they will race. From a commentator's perspective, I just hope the races won and don't divide. So runners then circling down at the start. Number 11, Maham, one of those horses in the blue colours, as the light blue with the darker blue chevrons, dark blue cap. Now it looks as though they're just starting to move up into the starting stalls. So 15 of them. It looks as though Torpedo is about to go in. I think Torpedo's already in stall number 1. So Torpedo was one of the first ones in. This is Wakia going into stall 14. Zaman going forward. into stall number 6. Stylish is the next one. Miblish is just taking plenty of encouragement to move up into the starting stalls. Istishara is about to go in there. So that's Miblish and Istishara. Istishara just shying away. Istishara goes in. Miblish is safely in. Mukhtar moving up. And Zihawa in the pink cap. This is Wakiyar in the black and red colours then. Number 14, Wakiyar. Number 11, Maham, over on the far side with the dark blue cap. Carolina Reaper. Mudalal. Mudalal is in. Carolina Reaper about to load now. So standing by for a start, and they're off, racing over the straight 1200 metres, and away smartly to the far side is Al Jayato with Torpedo showing up prominently. Mukhtar down the near side with Carolina Reaper. That one not too far away. Miblish is chasing them up. Stylish is to the extreme right and is being followed by Mudalal with the white cap. Al Jayat in the red hood is roughly in mid-division as they move on down towards the halfway marker. Back in mid-division as well is Jalameed. Zoman is coming under a ride and into the near side. The pace on the near side is with Mudalal with the white cap. Mudalal the leader from Miblish in second place, and those two are being chased by Jalameed, and then comes Stylish, and then trying to get into the races Istishara. Meanwhile, right over on the far side and showing up where plenty of speed is Racine inside the final 200 metres, and on the near side it is Mudalal who's trying to get away from them, and does get away from them, from Miblish and Stylish. And there's a big race on for the places. One who is staying on for places now is Torpedo, but the race is all over. The bird has flown, and this is Mudalal impressively. Mudalal the winner. Second place goes to Torpedo. Third is Jalameed, followed in then by Stylish, and then best of the rest Miblish, and right over on the far side right there was Racine, who showed plenty of dash. They're coming in big intervals. The one that was a long last was Mukhtar, and quite a few of them didn't really get into that race, but Mudalal was always handy. Mudalal, who came out of stall number 11, and the season's top jockey Neil Callan riding Mudalal to success, a horse who was second here last time. So basically you had 15 runners, and it was a case of number 3 Mudalal first, and the rest are nowhere. It was all about Mudalal there.
Showing pace and no little class to win this race under Neil Callan today. You can take Callan anywhere in the world and he'll ride you winners, whether it's the UK, Ireland, Hong Kong, or here in Bahrain. But in truth, he didn't have to work too hard on this gelded son of Outstrip, who showed the benefit of experience and showed plenty of pace as well. He was in front possibly a little earlier than Callan ideally would have liked, but having got a break on the field, he then just had to make the best of his way home, and he galloped on strongly here in the closing stages under that trademark strong Callan drive in the silks of Al Mohammedia Racing, made famous in the UK by Golden Horde amongst others, but made famous just about every day here in Bahrain by a litany of talented winners, and this might just be the latest of them. Another victory for Hesham Al Haddad, who is in front in the trainer standings and has won no fewer than 5 of the Bahrain Turf Series races, and Callan doing the steering. It was pretty straightforward, this. Ali Vance very shortly will be joined by Neil Callan, who is rapidly approaching. Mudalal, the winner of the 220. Ali, it's all yours.
Yeah, let's have a word with winning jockey Neil Callan. Neil, that one never really in doubt, was it?
No, he's been running well, to be fair, and I suppose as local breds go, he feels like he's got a little bit more, decent thoroughbred about him. But look, he's done it workmanlike, but he's been running well over a little bit further, and he's just been learning the ropes, so he's starting to mature.
Win number 1 for you today. Are we going to see you in the winners' enclosure later? Tell me about your big race rides.
Yeah, they've all got chances. They've been here before. They're running well. I'm riding for the right team, so hopefully more to come.
And good to have another success here. This is your 18th of the season.
Yeah, look, things are going well. I'm riding, like I say, I'm riding for the right people. And His Highness Sheikh Sultan is, you know, he's very loyal and he's very supportive. And, you know, we work as a team and everybody listens to each other. And I suppose what that makes good teams work.
It certainly does. Congratulations, obviously working well here. Leading jockey this season. Well done to Neil Callan. Win number 18, this one courtesy of Mudalal.
So the provisional placings there for the third race of the day, the His Highness Sheikh Hamad bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup over the straight, 1,200 metres. First, number 3, Mudalal. Second was number 6, Torpedo. Third, number 10, Jalamid. And fourth, number 13, Stylish. But it was all about Mudalal for Hesham Al Haddad and Neil Callan.
So coming into the winners' enclosure now, Neil Callan aboard the winner of the third race, Mudalal, a gelded son of Outstrip and Perfect Quest in the colours of Al Mohammedia Racing, bred by the Al Jazeera stud. A third lifetime start for this 3-year-old and a first career victory, and surely not the last.
Waiting at the things to the left, it was huge number of massive forward drives against the back of the wall. And actually, I thought that was well, I know, and with the guy, well, the guy was so nice.
I'm joined by the victorious winning owner for Al Mohammedia Racing. Sheikh Sultan is with me now. Sheikh Sultan, you are strengthening your grip at the top of the owner's title here in Bahrain. This is a nice little horse. Tell us why he means quite a bit to you.
Yes, you know, this horse, the first breeding for Al Jazeera stud, for Al Mohammedia. So it means a lot that we have a winner in our first crop for the local bred in Bahrain. And we thank the trainer Hisham Al Haddad and Mr. Fawzi Nas, the manager. So look after all Al Jazeera stud and the horses in training, all of them. We thank them all.
And the rivalry and competition amongst you all here in Bahrain is friendly, but it's pretty fierce at the same time. How intensely do you want to win this owner's title this year?
Well, it means a lot, you know. It's first time this year, so we'll try our best to stay and have some more winners. Yes.
And is the breeding as important to you now as the racing? Is producing the next generation of champions in Bahrain and abroad, is that as important to you as the thrill of winning races?
Yes, we like breeding, because in Bahrain here we have some races for local breed. And me and my brothers, we opened a stud, Al Jazeera stud. We have some stallions like Dutch Connection, like Camacho, like Dahman, so we're a few mares. So we're working hard to let Al Mohammedia also compete in the local bred more and more, hopefully, inshallah.
Do you think there is a time where we might be able to see horses that have been bred, foaled and raised here in Bahrain competing on an international stage? Is that a dream of yours? Could that realistically happen?
Yes, hopefully we have nice horses. but the most important here in Bahrain, hopefully for the local bred.
And as far as the strength of the sport here is concerned, the advent of the international race now in its 4th year, the Bahrain Turf Series in its 1st season, how much personal pleasure have you derived in being a part of all of that?
Well, you know, it means a lot for us. We have all from the UK, and we have the serious races with all the trainers, everybody. So we're enjoying with everybody in Bahrain like we enjoy in the UK.
Now, will I see you in the UK this season? When are we going to get to enjoy some Sheikh Sultan's success on the UK race courses?
Hopefully you see me in the UK from the beginning of the summer till the end of the summer. I'm there always.
Excellent. Where there are horses to race and where there are tracks to race them on, you will be there.
Everywhere, sales everywhere in the UK. You'll see me. We're behind the horses all the time.
Live it and breathe it. Sheikh Sultan, thanks so much. Well done.
Thank you very much.
So let's confirm the result for the 3rd race of the day. It is official. Winner was number 3, Modalal, the impressive winner as well. 2nd, number 6, Torpedo. 3rd, number 10, that was Jalamid. And the 4th horse home, number 13, Stylish. Modalal goes one better here this afternoon in the hands of Neil Callan. Wade in, wade in.
Well, one of the international trainers that has sent a horse over here this winter, or horses over here this winter, is leading trainer Jamie Osborne. He's had 2 runners here over the last few months, and whilst they've been here, they've been in the care of his daughter, Safi Osborne, and her boyfriend, David Egan. So the 3 of them, we went and sent the cameras to catch up with them earlier this week.
Well, I've delegated the job of preparing these horses to the squad. He's obviously now a competitor. He's the trainer of Brains, but he's now decided that he's going to take Brains on. So I don't know quite how we sit there, Dave. What do you think?
Both horses have been well going into the race. Peerless and Brains are at their peak, I would say. They've taken a bit of time to acclimatise, but hoping for...
Are you saying they've taken a bit of time for my training to work out and yours to come in?
Possibly, but we won't say that on air. No,
You're on air.
I think they'll both run their best races on Friday.
10 furlongs for Brains probably just stretches his stamina a little bit, but he ran over 10 at the beginning of the series, and the way we rode him didn't really work. We kind of forced him out the gate, and we were very handy. I think we'll be taking our time tomorrow. And Peerless, I think he's proven that he's an out-and-out 5 furlong horse, and the 6 furlongs hasn't really suited him, and this is the perfect option for him to run over 5.
My trainers tell me they've never had them in such good form, so you know, we're not whimpering out of this series. We're going to hopefully go out with a bang. It would be nice if one of the visitors won a race, but I think this year has been it's been a pathfinding exercise. So I think everybody that's been here is keen to come back. The hospitality has been fantastic, and I think now we know roughly a little more about the sort of horse that we need to bring next year. So I think maybe the locals have had it their way this year, but next year I think will be a different story.
So that was the Jamie Osborne team. So coming up, we've got race 4. This is Her Highness Shima BINT NASSER bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. It's over 1,000 metres. Let's have a look at the line. Number 1 is Jack the Truth, and Charlie Bishop takes the ride. 2, Peerless Safi Osborne. 3 is Alabra and Cameron Noble. 4, Garsman, Kieran Schumacher in the saddle. 5, Orag and Double Seeking Neil Callan. 6 is Al Barg and Hussein Maki. Just to confirm, number 7, Joe's Spirit has been scratched. That is a non-runner. Number 8 is Wiretap and Ibrahim Nada. Number 9, Asel. And Asel is partnered by Hassan Al Safa. And Asel, number 9, is being walked post. The horse is already out on the course going to the start. Number 10 is Rasel Assad and Abdullah Faisal. 11 is Fairs Kodiak and Martin Seidel. Number 12, Bright Armour. Note George Wood takes the ride there. Number 13, Cody Time and Marvin Grandin. Number 14, Turner and David Egan. And 15 is Alte and Jimmy Quinn. Field of 14 to go to post. Number 7, Joe Spirit, the non-runner. And number 12, Bright Armour, partnered by George Wood. They are the changes for race 4.
Well, let's have a look at the horses then in the parade ring for this 1,000 metre contest over the 5 furlongs. We've got 2 international trained runners. These are horse number 1, Jack the Truth, and horse number 2, Peerless. And in the picture there, you can see Jack the Truth, trained by George Scott in the UK, ridden by Charles Bishop. This one's been running in the Bahrain Turf Series races, dropping down into local company today and carries top weight today. Jack the Truth down in trip as well. A horse that needs to improve on the 2 runs he's had so far in Bahrain, but this in easier company. So there's number 1 in the red and white colours of Mr. Jack Stevenson. This is horse number 1, Jack the Truth.
Jack the Truth, who's been a fantastic servant in more than one country. Here's number 15, Altai, by one of the young sires of the moment, Territories. Another one to run in the colours of Sheikh Sultan's Al Mohammadiyah Racing. Osama Hashim, Jimmy Quinn teaming up, and probably better than the finishing position suggested, over 1,400 last time. A drop significantly down in distance could well help today.
Horse number 2 is Peerless, the second horse that is trained in the UK. This one by Jamie Osborne, ridden by his daughter Safi Osborne. We just heard from the pair a moment ago. This one having his 3rd run in Bahrain and stepping down in trip again. This one been running over 6 furlongs and stepping down to the straights 5 furlongs today. And another one who's needs to improve a little bit on his runs in those Bahrain Turf Series races. Perhaps that drop back in trip and easier company today could see Peerless get in the places.
5 is next, Orag. Well-bred gelding from a family with lots of speed, bred by Mount Armstrong stud. Another one for Al Mohammadiyah Racing. Neil Callan, high hopes of a double here. Horse looks particularly well, and the flat 1,000 will suit ideally. Dropping significantly down in grade from last time, and a positive jockey uplift as well.
Horse number 6 is Al Barge for champion trainer Hisham Al Haddad. Hussein Maki rides this one, leading a Bahrain jockey. Horse that's had 3 career wins, and we last saw this one running over the 6 furlongs, over the 1,200 metres back in mid-January, finishing in a good second to Fighter Pilot. So good form there, and if you can repeat that today, could be in with a chance. That's horse number 6, Al Barge.
Not too many fillies in the race. Here's one of them, number 14, Turner. David Egan for Hesham Al-Haddad. That jockey-trainer combination certainly catches the eye. She's nice and settled on the weighted post, and she stepped up quite significantly on previous efforts when running a good third last time, but that was over 1400. Will she have the pace today for the bare minimum? And we're going to break off from having a look at the runners for our fourth race, because we are going to conduct the trophy presentation for race 3. That'll take place very shortly here in the paddock. Just a reminder that race 3, His Highness Sheikh Hamad bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup, was won by Mudalal. It was another victory for the all-conquering Al Mohammadiyah Racing, and bred, as you heard from Sheikh Sultan, by his own Al Jazeera stud, which is a relatively fresh venture, and clearly this homebred success meant an awful lot to him. So we welcome back up to the presentation podium, and with our thanks for all his support today, His Highness Sheikh Faisal bin Rashid Al Khalifa, the Vice President of the Supreme Council for the Environment, and also the Deputy Chairman of the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, and presenting the trophy now to Sheikh Sultan and Al Mohammadiyah Racing, Hesham Al-Haddad. Neil Callan is in the colours on the way down, see if he can complete a double. We might be back here very shortly. Budalal was the winner of race 3. So that wraps up race 3. We are on the cusp of loading for race 4, not too far away from post time. We will head down to the 5 furlong 1,000 metre start, where we will find Tom Stanley.
Yes, you will indeed, Nick, where a couple of horses have made their way down. Now, we know the horse that won our opening race, and he came down first of all under Neil Callan. I don't know how much we can see of this horse now that's come down first again, in the same colours, in the white hat over the far side, and that is Urag, son of Sir Prancelot, for Neil Callan. So he's trying to repeat the trick, come down first. He'll coming out of stall number 2 here, whereas he came out of stall number 11 before. There seemed to be no perceived bias, although I did just ask one of the stalls handlers, and they confirmed that you're better off being far side. So we'll see, maybe strengthen numbers over towards that far side. Spin round to our left, and we will pick up horse number 4, and that is Garsman, Kieran Schumacher on board for Alan Smith. It's a son of Gars Wood, this horse. And he's tackling the 1,000 metres again, having been just touched off a short head last time. Really wasn't beaten far. That was with Charlie Bishop on board, and he's got Kieran Schumacher taking over. Now riding for Al Adiyat Racing. Jimmy Quinn's just got in front of us, and he's just confirming he is Jimmy Quinn as he went past. And he is on Altai here, who's got a tongue tie on board. Osama Hashim. Altai for another one for Al Mohammadiyah Racing. Let's take a longer look at one of them. So number 8 is in the distance here, just the nearest horse to us now, and that is Wiretap under Ibrahim Nada in the victorious colours, trained by Yusuf Tahir. This horse is back somewhat in trip, so we'll see whether he can cope with that at all. This horse is a nice looking horse, number 4, round to our right. Let's pick up him again. Kieran Schumacher, you can see on the side of his breeches. A big, powerful looking son of Gars. He looks every bit the sprinter, whereas I wouldn't say necessarily exactly the same about number 8, who's just gone in the foreground ahead of us. David Egan is meant to make his way past us in the yellow and black. All good, David? Good man. He's enjoyed his time out here very much. That's Turner for Hesham Al-Haddad. David was on board last time. This horse tackled 1,400. He'll have to prove that he can keep up with these and go the pace that he needs to go. Number 12, just going front. You see, he's got a little bit warm, a bit of that sweat coming out under the saddlecloth there. Look, it's a warm day, but you know, some of them are used to it, some of them not so much. Bright armour, that horse is. And last of them going behind is under Charlie Bishop, by the looks of things, going on his breeches. Jack the Truth. Unless somebody's nicked Charlie's breeches. No, it's definitely him. And that horse has got the red hood on, so that will come off Jack the Truth. And this horse has got pace. We've seen that before, but this is going to be a bit different, dropping to the 1,000 off the back of a run over 1,200 last time. So We'll just head behind and just see if they're all behaving. Obviously sprinters here, a few of them tackling the trip for the first time in a while, but they all look nice and relaxed, nice and calm. Neil Callum right in front of us here, number 5, the winner of our most recent race. He rides Orag here, this horse who has been over the trip a few times. Wasn't beaten far here a couple of starts ago. Now that was at the very back end of last season. Then he had a long old absence. Hasn't necessarily returned in exactly the same form, but this could be a little bit more realistic. Number 3 going forward under Cam Noble, that's Alabra. He's just being edged in. Stalls handlers do such great work here getting these horses to get in when they're proving a little bit reluctant. Tail goes up just to encourage the horse to go forward, and they've won that battle. A job well done. Have another look at this horse, number 5 in front of us, Orag. He's got that hood on, you can see. He's a son of Sir Prancelot. Definitely would have a chance here. Going to be interesting to see where the pace holds up across the track. Pick up the pink in front of us, number 2, with that red hood on. That's Safi Osborne on board, a son of Kodiak. Peerless for her father, Jamie Osborne. They team up in one of the feature races later on as well. And Safi's been enjoying her time with success riding between Dubai and Bahrain. Had a big ride last week in one of the feature dirt races out at Meydan. Has had a couple of good performances on the turf out here as well. Peerless, relatively lightly raced, certainly over this trip, but dropping back in trip from last time when it was Jimmy Quinn on board. And that horse will go forward into stall number 6. So we've just got a few more to go forward. Jack the Truth going forward. Peerless is another one of them, and then Bright Armour. We'll join Darren Owen.
So we're down to the last few runners then to load the starting stalls at the straight 1,000-metre start, and Bright Armour is out of line. George Wood aboard Bright Armour to go into stall number 12, and Peerless will slot into stall 6 in the hands of Safi Osborne. So we're waiting on the final 2 to load the 1,000-metre journey, and this is Bright Armour in the yellow jacket. Just having a think about this, Bright Armour shying away from the starting stalls at present, and Peerless waiting to go in. Looks to all the others are just standing nicely as well down at the start. Assel went to post early. That horse was walked down to the start, so Bright Armour just holding up the show. Bright Armour is now in. So this is Peerless to complete the lineup at the 1,000-metre start. That's it. They are ready to go. And they're racing, 1,000 metres in front of them, and Cody time began well with Turner to the far side. Orag is showing up prominently, and hard up against the ring rail is Wiretap. And we've got a difference of opinion. We've got 2 groups. Over on the far side, Peerless is in that group as well, and Albarg is in the rear of that division. Garsman leads the stand side charge, being followed by Rasselaside and Bright Armour. Fares Kodiak is right there in the centre. Jack the Truth is further back, followed by Alabra. Assel is to the extreme right. They're heading down towards the last 400 metres, and it's Orag over on the far side with Turner in the yellow and black striped jacket. Wiretap still there with Cody time. Affairs Kodiak and Garsman towards the near side, running down towards the final 200 metres. Turner far side with Orag. Albarg coming with a run. Garsman dark blue jacket to the near side. Best of the rest is Fares Kodiak. Albarg is finishing off really well down the centre. Turner over on the far running rail. Turner far side. Garsman near side. Albarg down the centre. 3 of them going to the line. It is Albarg who's too strong. Albarg the winner. Garsman and Turner close call for places, followed by Orag, Fares Kodiak, then Wiretap, Peerless, Jack the Truth, and then Alabra, followed by Rasselasad and Cody time looking towards the back, and Bright Armour might be one of the last ones to finish. So Albarg is the winner. Albarg and Hussein Maki for that man again, Hisham Al-Haddad. Albarg down the centre of the course, running on strongly to take the money. The horse was second on his reappearance last month, and Albarg goes one better here, this gelded son of acclamation. They were right across the course. Turner was banging contention over on the far running rail. On the near side it was Garsman who showed bright speed, but down the centre Albarg was too strong. Number 6 Albarg takes out race 4.
That's a big effort from Albarg and a big effort from trainer Hesham Al-Haddad. Another success for him. Hussein Maki doing the steering on this gelded son of acclamation in the colours of Hassan Mafari Al-Ajmi, a horse who was very consistent in his previous life in the UK and is proving a real money spinner here in Bahrain as well. However, he had to defy an absence of 2 years and had just had the one start since that 2-year absence before today. Would have teed him up nicely. An excellent run in second last time. That first run for 22 months when Rosie Jessup was aboard. And Hussein Maki, the stable jockey, has got back on today, Al Barg, and he's returned to something like the sort of form that we're seeing him win here almost exactly 2 years ago over this sort of distance. So an excellent performance over 1,000 metres for this horse, and just getting the better of in second number 9 Asil, and back in third place was the filly, and she ran really well, number 14 Turner. That was an excellent performance from Turner. David Egan riding the stable companion of the winner, Al Barg, but spread right across the width of the track here. Al Barg, the winner of the 245.
So the provisional placings for race number 4. First, number 6, Al Barg. Second, number 4, Garsman. Third, number 14, Turner. And fourth was number 5, Orag. So the field spread right across the course. Number 6, Al Barg, and Hussein Maki taking out race number 4. That is the provisional results.
Let's have a word with winning jockey Hussein Maki. Hussein, you're absolutely delighted about this win.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about the horse.
I don't know. First time after I ride this horse, just last 2 furlong, I see him very good horse. He needs win.
Just like that. And for you to have a win on a big day like today is important.
Yeah, I'm like I won today. Very good day.
Well, congratulations today, and congratulations on the season you're having. You're absolutely flying, Hussein. Well done. On to victory today then. And victory coming on Al Barg for Hussein Maki for Hesham Al Haddad. Now 3 winners on the day for champion trainer.
So victory in our 4th race then, and with a huge roar from the crowd, Al Barg comes into the winner's enclosure, congratulating owner Hassan Mafari Al Ajmi. Hesham Al Haddad, another winner for him, and Hussein Maki doing the steering. Big local winner of our 4th race, the His Highness Sheikh Shima bin Nasser, Her Highness Sheikh Shima bin Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. So the presentation now taking place for race 4. Once again, we welcome to the presentation podium His Highness Sheikh Faisal bin Rashid Al Khalifa, the Vice President of the Supreme Council for the Environment, Deputy Chairman of the Rashid Equestrian Horse Racing Club, and congratulate the winning connections Hassan Mafari Al Ajmi, Hesham Al Haddad and Hussein Maki. The winner Al Bagh.
So the official results, winner there, number 6, Al Bagh, partnered by Hussein Maki. Second, number 4, Garsman and Kieran Schumacher. Third, number 14, Turner and David Egan. And the fourth horse home, just for the record, was number 5, Orag and Neil Callan. Wade in for race 4.
With the Bahrain Turf Series, we're developing a sort of an extended program for people to be based here, not only in Bahrain, but also complemented by races in the GCC.
I think the series has added a little bit of excitement all around.
And what a great place to have horses run, you know, the prize money and everything about it.
For me, it's the best of the turf tracks in this part of the world by a country mile. Whatever they've done, it's working, and I'm very impressed with it.
The quarantine barns are second to none, definitely a lot warmer than England, and as long as the horses run well, we'll be here for a while.
We're not here for a jolly, we're here to try to earn a bit of money.
We've got some invaders, if you like.
And they're off and running in the first leg of the Bahrain Turf Series. Rodriguez going clear by a length and a half as they race up towards the line. Happy Craft wins. Coob down the outside and Kieran Schumacher battling on Mars landing Neil Callan over on the far side. Head to head, toe to toe, Mars landing wins.
I don't like finishing second, but he's run his heart out and we're thrilled to bits with him. Great experience, and I think we'll be back.
Great battle up front here. We get Mars landing, lands it again.
I think in the next 2 to 5 years, I think it's going to not be far off something like Dubai.
And it's deep intrigue and goes on to win.
It's fantastic to keep it in Bahrain home soil, I suppose.
Tawarek is out in front here, and Tawarek is going to run out a pretty convincing winner.
Great result for the team, and long may it continue.
Happy Craft in front to win another Bahrain Turf Series race.
It was never going to be easy coming here, and that is part of the challenge and part of the fun.
Dark shadow on the far side, Roman River on the near side, very little between them, and that is close.
Oh, it's great, and of course for Eddie, he'd come over from Uruguay. It's his second season here.
Brains running on down the outside, but it's classical wave.
They can't just bring any old horse here and expect to win. They've got to bring their best over to try and take on us locals, because we want to keep these races in Bahrain.
I think the big congratulations goes for the whole team, the owners and Mr. Fawzi Nas.
It's been great, you get really well looked after. It's a lovely country.
Bahrain's been absolutely fantastic from start to finish. They really look after owners. Course is great, and obviously the weather, what's not to like?
We welcome you on a truly glorious afternoon to the final day of the inaugural Bahrain Turf Series here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club.
Yeah, this 10-race series has been running through from mid-December right through today. And today's 2 races, we have the SAKHIR Cup over 7 furlongs and the Vision 2030 Cup over 10 furlongs.
So far, local trainers have dominated in this turf series. Today presents one final chance for the internationals to get on the score sheet, as we say a very good afternoon to Tom Stanley.
Nick, Ali, thank you very much indeed. Yeah, truly international fields represented across our 2 Bahrain Turf Series races, with horses from the UK, from Ireland as well, plenty of locally trained horses, and also 2 horses that have hot-footed it over from Dubai in the Godolphin Blue, trained by Charlie Appleby, will be the mount of James Doyle later on this afternoon. What about conditions? Well, you can see from the flags behind me, there is a bit of wind out there. It's not too blustery. I know in recent weeks it's been a lot worse than this, but the wind is pretty much at this stage is just coming across and into them, so just blowing towards the grandstand, a little bit in and across them, but nothing too major wind-wise. It's a still enough afternoon. There's a lovely covering of grass as we get at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, and they have put some watering on, 49 millimetres of irrigation, unsurprisingly given conditions out here, and that means we are good to firm but set fair for a splendid afternoon's racing. Let's get up and meet your racecourse commentator, that is Darren Owen.
Yes, excellent conditions for the final two races of the inaugural Bahrain Turf Series. Two very competitive handicaps to look forward to, and of course the key question is, are the locals going to allow the internationals an inch? Of course, it's been a benefit to for the locals with Hashim Al-Haddad and Alan Smith dominating this series, and as the team was saying, we have got Godolphin present today as well, with Charlie Appleby sending out runners. So let's have a look at the first of our races. This is the Al-SAKHIR Cup. Big field here, 16 of them facing the starter. No need to call in the reserves. Let's have a look at the field for this race over 1,400 metres. Number 1 is Magical Wish, and Magical Wish is partnered by John Egan for Stan Moore. Number 2 is a Silent Film for Charlie Appleby, Godolphin, James Doyle aboard. 3 is Shebel Al Jazeera and Marcialis Jores. Number 4, Sonia Henny and Hussein Maki. 5 is Deep Intrigue, already a Turf Series winner, race winner. David Egan is the jockey. 6, Kinks and Neil Callan. Number 7 is Nay Slayer and Lewis Edmonds. 8, Mushtak and Ibrahim Nada. 9, Urgent Appeal for Simon Crisford and Charlie Bishop is aboard. 10, Tamerlane and Jason Watson. Number 11 is Nebo. Lee Roach is the jockey. 12, Graphite Storm and Cameron Noble. Number 13, Desert Gulf, now partnered by George Wood. Desert Gulf now partnered by George Wood. Number 14 is Wonder Elzam and Abdullah Faisal. 15 is Natural Path and Martin Sadel. And number 16 is King's Knight and Safi Osborne. The reserves will not be in this lineup. The Al-SAKHIR Cup coming shortly.
And Ali and I down here now live in the winners' enclosure. Who will be here, Ali, after the Al-SAKHIR Cup, I wonder? A good international representation.
Yeah, we've got 16 runners in this, 7 coming from overseas. So far in this Turf Series, we haven't had an internationally trained winner. So will this be the first race? Will we see it on the final day of the Bahrain Turf Series? And an interesting one coming over from Godolphin. Charlie Appleby is sent a couple, but there's a very good one in this one, Silent Film, who won a good handicap at Maidan recently, comes here off the back of that. Whereas the other international horses, they have been running in the Bahrain Turf Series regularly. So this one is more of an unknown. Can this one get the better of some of the locally trained horses?
And quite significant that Charlie Appleby and Godolphin should not only be supporting the Bahrain International Trophy, as they do year in, year out in November, but now supporting this Turf Series in the hope that the GCC nations will form something of a carnival in due course during the course of the winter months. Let's take a look at these horses in the paddock then, and we will start with number 1, Magical Wish, who's a little more exposed than some of these, but did win here over 1,600 metres 2 starts ago. Is running off the same weight, 62 kilos, as last time, and John Egan takes the ride for British-based trainer Stan Moore. And we will hopefully pick up the Godolphin runner Silent Film when Silent Film comes in, but he's not in just yet. The Chestnut for James Doyle and Charlie Appleby. So the next horse we're able to show you, Ali, is number 4, Sonia Henny, who's a bit of a regular in races such as this.
Yeah, she's been a really good horse for Hashim Al-Haddad. Hussein Maki's riding the horse today. John Egan is actually riding the Magical Wish. John Egan's been riding the horse quite regularly. But Sonia Henny, a 6-time career winner and pretty fancied in this. She really always gives her best, and she's been running brilliantly in some of the Bahrain Turf Series races and finished second behind Happy Craft back in the middle of December, before finishing again behind Happy Craft at the end of January. The draw, perhaps a problem for Sonia Henny. She's coming out of stall 16, which is a tricky one over this 1,400 metre distance. So horse number 4 then, Sonia Henny.
Here's number 5, Hashim Al-Haddad, the trainer. 53 winners already and counting this Bahrain season. Way ahead of his nearest pursuer, and this is one of his runners here, Deep Intrigue, the mount of David Egan. A little bit disappointing the last couple of times, but 1,400 metres on the outer track should be what he wants.
Horse number 6 then, Kinks, going to be ridden today by Neil Callan, who's already been in the winner's enclosure today. We're going to have a quick look at horse number 6 when we can find him in the parade ring as the horses make their way down and head out onto the track. There he is, Neil Callan getting the leg up for Hesham Haddad. Kinks is another really good servant for the yard. He won back in November with Neil Callan riding that day, and Neil back on board today in the absence of Paddy Mathers, and won over this distance in November, so comes here with every chance. Kinks for Neil Callan and Hesham Haddad.
Let's have a look at 14 now. Ali Wonder Elzam, another one for Stanmore. Abdullah Faisal taking the ride. John Egan has apparently chosen to ride Magical Wish, but Wonder Elzam wouldn't be a forlorn hope here, particularly stepping up 200 metres to 1400 on this main track. I think that'll suit much better, and he's been knocking at the door in his 3 starts here at the Rashid Equestrian Club.
Horse number 8, Mushtaq for Herib Al-Malki and Ibrahim Nada. Another horse drawn very wide, drawn coming out of at stall 15. Could be a problem for horse number 8, Mushtaq. Last seen mid-December, so in 2020, so had a long time off the track, Mushtaq. So a long layoff for this one, but returning today under Ibrahim Nada. Horse number 8, Mushtaq.
Number 10 is Tamer Lane, another one for Al Mohammadiyah Racing. Sheikh Sultan's powerful ownership operation. Hussein Al Delami trains, and Jason Watson, who we saw winning the International back in November, is the man in the plate here. On a hat-trick as well.
Horse number 12, Graphite Storm, is a horse that's in with a chance of topping Pot B for the overall Turf Series points. So Graphite Storm has to do well in this race to topple Happy Craft, who at the moment is sitting top of Pot B. And Graphite Storm beat a number of today's runners when finishing 3rd 2 weeks ago. Today ridden by Cameron Noble, trained by Ali Jan, comes with every chance in Graphite Storm. 1 to watch, been really consistent in the Bahrain Turf Series race. That's horse number 12, Graphite Storm.
15 is next, Natural Path for Michael Bell, Newmarket-based trainer. Martin Seidel takes the ride. Gelding by Toronado, who ran his best race here in Bahrain last time when staying on to finish 5th behind Roman River over 1200. The step back up to 1400 should suit well. That is 15, Natural Path, another one of the British invaders. And we can have a look now, Ali, at the Godolphin Gelding silent film, who's one of the last out of the paddock, has made the short hop from Dubai.
Yeah, James Doyle rides this for Charlie Appleby. Last seen winning at Meydan in early January, over 7 furlongs. That was after a 6-month break, winning that handicap in Meydan. Before that, he was winning at Sandown in June. So really been targeted for this race. Charlie Appleby quoted as saying, hoping that the conditions will suit, the distance will suit. Coming out of stall 7 silent film, and comes here as the favourite according to the international bookmakers. So horse number 2, silent film for Godolphin.
Yeah, really significant moment this. Charlie Appleby having his first runner in the Bahrain Turf Series, and another one in our subsequent race. We're just having a few little issues here in the paddock with number 9, Urgent Appeal, who is showing relatively little urgency leaving the parade ring. There's Charlie Bishop riding for Simon Crisford in the Rabba famous yellow and green silks. Ed Crisford, co-trainer, he's just trying to cajole this showcasing gelding. And away they go. Now he is making his way down to the start, Urgent Appeal, or not, because he's just napped back away. As Charlie Bishop has his work cut out getting Urgent Appeal down to the start. We're going to head down to the 1400 metre post now and join Tom Stanley.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Welcome out to the start. I'll try and pick up some of those we haven't seen in the paddock, I don't think. So maybe they're not all down yet. Let's just start with this horse right in front of us. We'll have a look at number 14 in front of us, which is Wonder Elzam. I know we've seen this horse for Stanmore. Spoke to Stanmore earlier about this horse's chances. Pointed out he's well drawn out of 1. That's a good thing. And we'll see how he gets on. Best run probably came out here in the race won by Mubadel. That form has worked out really well. The winner subsequently went and bolted up. So that is a good bit of form. Number 7, I wonder if we can see in the distance. Not sure we've seen 7 yet in the paddock. 7 with the red and white hat, that is NASSER. Lewis Evans rides for Ali Jan, who was last seen out here about 3 weeks ago or so, about 4 weeks ago I should say, and was pretty comfortably put in his place. That was over the same trip as now, so we'll want to improve ever so slightly on that. Others we haven't seen. Number 3 over the far side, you've got a red hood on and also the yellow hat for number 3. That's Shebil Al Jazeera. Marcelius Horez for Osama Hashim. Cam Noble was on board this horse last time, running over 1,600 metres, was beaten by Magical Wish. The Happy Craft form prior to that is a decent bit of form, to be honest. We know that Happy Craft heads the series here, and we'll see how he gets on. Number 2 as well, I wouldn't mind seeing the Godolphin Blue, who's just going to walk in front of us with the red hood on, James Doyle on board. Charlie Appleby, spoke to him yesterday briefly, and he said that this has always been the plan for this horse, always been the plan to come here as opposed to keep going in Dubai where he won last time, and they're keen to support this BAHRAIN Turf Series. So we can head back to Nick in the paddock and pick up the trainer of horse number 15 out here, which is Natural Path. That is Michael Bell, isn't it?
Yeah, Tom, thank you very much for that comprehensive guide to the runners down at the start. Michael Bell alongside, as you say, Natural Path. Michael, how pleased were you with the run in Bahrain last time?
Yeah, he ran well. He looked like he was going to be third, and just in the shadow of the post he was run out of it, which was a bit tedious, but I have to say I've obviously just come in and seen him in the last few days, and the horse looks in great nick.
Your son Nick's been supervising all the way through the winter. It's been a bit of a fact-finding mission. How's it been for you?
Good. I think there's many positives to take out of it. And as I said before when I was here, I'm particularly interested with the track. And I'd say we'll be back.
And you brought your family out here this week. Have they enjoyed what Bahrain has to offer?
Yeah, the weather's been amazing. And no, we've had a great time.
All the very best.
Thanks, Nick.
That's Michael Bell. Ali.
There is an extra £25,000 in the prize pot for the horse that's been most successful, and Pool A is for the races over 6 and 7 furlongs, or 1,200 and 1,400 metres. And at the moment, Happy Craft, after winning 2 of these races, leads the way. But Deep Intrigue, Graphite Storm and Natural Path are 3 horses running in today's race who could top Pool A. As £15,000 goes to the winning owner, £10,000 to the winning trainer. So extra bonus on offer today, and it will go to Happy Craft unless Deep Intrigue, Graphite Storm and Natural Path run well in today's races. In today's race, it's 16 points for the win today, so, and it goes down to 1 for finishing in last. So that could change Pool A standings, but at the moment it's Happy Craft who's in line to receive the additional £25,000 prize money.
Now, Urgent Appeal is just being walked down, so is one of the last out. We've talked about horses coming over to Dubai from Team Godolphin from Dubai. Silent Film is one of those, and we've got another one in our next contest as well in the form of Tambarada. Well, also this horse, Urgent Appeal, has come over from the Dubai stable of Simon and Ed Crisford. Ed Crisford is out here, and Urgent Appeal lining up under Charlie Bishop. We'll see how he gets on in the colours of Rabba Racing. Right in front of me now is number 1. And this horse with the blue chevron on the purple, Magical Wish. John Egan on board for Stan Moore. This horse had a really good time of it out here. Won a couple of starts ago over the 1,600. Last time up to the 1,800 was probably a bit of a tall order. I think the 1,400 will suit better than the 1,800, if you see what I mean. But he's probably up against it, having shown his hand and done a little bit of winning out here. Number 4, right in front of us, like the look of number 4, in the red of the victorious colours. Hussein Maki rides Sonia Henny. She's got some really good form. She's a nice looking mare. She really holds her own physically here with the colts we've got in the field. That Happy Craft form, Happy Craft who heads this pool, this series at the moment as the winning most horse in it. Well, she doesn't line up here, and Sonia Henny was behind Happy Craft on the last 2 starts. But the one over course and distance 2 starts ago was a good bit of form. I suppose the issue here is stall number 16. That is not going to make life very easy. Number 10, just 2 away from us, number 10 is Tamerlane. Jason Watson rides for Hussein Al-Dalami. He's got the red hood on, and he's got the red hat as Jason Watson, Tamerlane. This horse ran very well here last time when Neil Callum was on board over the 1400. Is looking to make it the treble out here. Is one of the likely ones out of stall number 10, definitely. Wonder if we can see in the distance now the riderless number 9, Urgent Appeal, who's about to join the rest of them, and the fact that Charlie Bishop is still off this horse. Not really sure about the history of this horse, whether or not this is him, but you can see Charlie Bishop is just making his way over towards us, away from the horse. It could be that the plan is to go in without Charlie on board. This horse will go into stall number 8, making his Bahrain debut out here, Urgent Appeal. And Charlie's making his way over towards us. Not sure, as I say, exactly what the issue is, but Charlie stood in the middle of this field, and as I say, they'll team up in stall number 8. And Charlie, yeah, I think he will be getting on board the horse when the horse has gone forward. He's just alongside David Egan in the grey. The grey here is number 5 in front of us. Deep Intrigue, just got to walk away from us. Deep Intrigue for Hesham Al-Haddad. David was on board last time over 1200. I think the step back up in trip will probably suit this horse, for all the last win did come over 1200. And we'll see Urgent Appeal, number 9, going forward now into stall number 8. And Charlie Bishop is waiting on board. Well underway, not too far away. Let's rejoin Nick and Ali.
Yeah, Tom, thank you. Last few loading then. Can either Urgent Appeal or Silent Film, well, first of all, they've both got to go into the stalls, but can they land a blow for the international contenders here? Simon and Ed Crisford and Charlie Appleby bringing horses with meaningful stakes race form to this Al-Sakhir Cup, the first of our 2 races on this final day of the Bahrain Turf Series. On the outer track, 1,400 metres, and the man in the commentary box, Darren Owen.
So the loading up process well underway. Not many more to go forward then for the 9th race in the Bahrain Turf Series. This is the Al-Sakhir Cup over 1,400 metres. Sonia Henny has gone forward. And we're waiting on Shebel Al Jazeera, and Shebel Al Jazeera is in standby for a start. The Al-Sakhir Cup, the Bahrain Turf Series, race 9. The field are set to go, and they're off. Running over 1,400 metres, and we've lost one at the start. Mushtaq has unseated the rider. Mushtaq is riderless. So in the early strides, it is Wonder Elzam on the inside of Shebel Al Jazeera. Shebel Al Jazeera now moving on. Nebo is prominent, so too is Natural Path with Sonia Henny. Magical Wish, the loose horses in the mix. Silent Film in the Godolphin Blue behind runners with Kinks for company. Further back to Urgent Appeal, who's being chased towards the end of the back by Graphite Storm, and Deep Intrigue is next, followed by King's Knight. Nearer last than first, Nay Slayer, and so too towards the back, Desert Gulf in company with Tamer Lane. Heading now towards the turn-in, just over 600 to go, and it is Shebel Al Jazeera in front by about 3 lengths. Chased in second place at the top of the straight by Sonia Henny. A few of them coming wide into the home run. Magical Wish, Nebo all starting to make their efforts, and then Wonder Elzam, King's Natural Path, Silent Film down the centre of the course with Urgent Appeal in the green striped jacket. Inside the 400-metre mark, Shebel Al Jazeera is making them all go here. Natural Path and Silent Film are both staying on with Kings and Magical Wish, and then towards the outside, King's Knight, Nay Slayer trying to come home well, and this leader Shebel Al Jazeera with the loose horse coming back to the field. Here comes Silent Film with Natural Path, and King's Knight is also running on. It's close. Silent Film made it interesting with Shebel Al Jazeera, then King's Knight, Natural Path, followed by Kinks and Tamer Lane. Further back to Desert Gulf, and looking towards the back, Nebo was one of the last ones in. It's a close call. Silent Film for the Godolphin Blue. Is this prize up for export? Silent Film down the outside in the Godolphin Blue, putting it to Shebel Al Jazeera close home. That's the horse who made them all go, Shebel Al Jazeera, and a Silent Film in the photo finish. Let's have a look at this. Ooh, this is interesting. The head down on Silent Film. Could be at the right time. They've got that loose horse there in the mix there. Silent Film this side of Godolphin Blue, number 2. Number 3, Shebel Al Jazeera. And just off the front 2 then, you've got number 16, King's Knight, who takes out 3rd place with number 15, Natural Path, in 4th position. Drama at the start when Mushtaq unseated Ibrahim Nada. We had the loose horse there right in the mix with the field. It is a photo finish, just waiting for the judge to confirm the places. Is this prize now up for export?
What a thriller for the Al-Sakhir Cup. Has that horse there, Silent Film, got up? If he has, it is in the shadow of the post, because he was in front in this race nowhere. Bar the line under James Doyle. Top international rider, Charlie Appleby, world's leading trainer of 2021, coming here to Bahrain. Has he plundered the Al-Sakhir Cup, and has he snatched it from Shebil Al Jazeera right on the wire? It is desperately close. A loose horse in the mix as well on the far side. That was Mushtaq who got rid of the rider right at the start. Very creditable performance from King's Knight for Charlie Hills and Natural Path for Michael Bell. They're filling out the third and the superfecta, but victory here is yet to be decided. It's extraordinarily close. Silent Film is the winner. Silent Film has been called the winner for Godolphin, for Charlie Appleby and James Doyle by the shortest of short heads. Silent Film wins the Al-Sakhir Cup, and that is the first international victory in the Bahrain Turf Series, and it goes the way of the man who won 3 races at the Breeders' Cup meeting last November, the man who won the Derby, who won the King George, who won the Irish Derby, who won the St Leger. Charlie Appleby and James Doyle, multiple Group 1 winning rider, takes the Al-Sakhir Cup on Silent Film, who ran very creditably at Meydan the other day and has come here and won in Bahrain. Thrilling finish then to this leg of the Bahrain Turf Series on the outer track, and Silent Film makes some noise here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club.
So the provisional result of the 9th race in the Bahrain Turf Series, the Al-Sakhir Cup. First, number 2, Silent Film, partnered by James Doyle for Godolphin and Charlie Appleby. Second, number 3, Shebil Al Jazeera. Third, number 16, King's Knight. And fourth, number 15, Natural Path. That's the provisional result of the Al-Sakhir Cup.
Well, winning jockey James Doyle joins me now. James, you had to wait for that one, but you're pretty confident when you crossed the line that you got there.
It was a little bit confusing with the loose horse in the mix. I wasn't too sure, but my initial reaction was that he'd won, but then obviously not knowing when I got back, I wasn't quite sure. But anyway, I thought he did well. It was quite a messy race, bit of scrimmaging early. We lost our pitch and then got pushed wide on the turn. But I thought he did quite well, really. He gradually just warmed into the race like he's done in all his races, and he actually pricked his ears late on, which is a good sign. There's a bit more to come, hopefully.
It's quite an achievement, though, to come. The horse only arrived yesterday or the day before, to come over here and up against these top local horses. It's been very hard for any international runners, all the international runners, to have a winner. But you guys, it's, as I said, a good achievement just to come in and nick a race. Yeah, absolutely. Look, Charlie earmarked this race for him some time ago when he brought him out to Dubai. You know, he had a nice prep run there, which, you know, he did quite well. He got quite tired late on, but still kept his head in front. So he knows how to win, which is quite important. And yeah, it was a very good shout by Charlie to earmark this race. So full credit to him. And for you, you've ridden in Bahrain before. Was this your first time? What do you make of the facilities? Yeah, no, absolutely. I've been coming to Bahrain for a number of years now, and you know, year on year it really improves, and you know, the standard and quality of racing and facilities are improving each year. So it's it's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with, you know, going forward. Well done in this one, and good luck in the next one. Thank you.
James Doyle explaining how it was done there to Ali Vance on Silent Film, the winner of the Al-Sakhir Cup. It was a race not without incident, particularly at the start. Mushtaq got rid of his rider, Ebrahim Nada, and that had quite a significant impact because Mushtaq ran with the field throughout and rather sort of muddled the pace on the front end and got in the way of one or two of these as well, and probably was forcing the eventual runner-up Shebil Al Jazeera to do a little bit more than Marciales Jorez wanted to do. And marginally impeded, as you can see to the outside, Sonia Henny, who's a standing dish in races like this. After that, Hussein Maki never really stood a chance because he was being trapped so deep on the course. So that was the incident at the start. and keen to take a prominent position, Marcialis Jorge on Shabil Al Jazeera. But if you just look at the closing stages, that loose horse is burrowing up the inside and has probably just made Shabil do a little bit more than was ideal. And inch, by gradual inch, Silent Film was getting there under a strong drive from Doyle. The Sheepskin Cheek Pieces Natural Pass ran another good race without a perfect trip, and it was certainly a much better effort from King's Knight. Safi Osborne getting a much better run out of Charlie Hill's runner in third place. But there you are, there's official confirmation that, in fact, perhaps not as close as it looked to the naked eye, Silent Film, Ali, has won.
With that, it was a confusing finish with the loose horse there, as you say, just pushing Shabil Al Jazeera over slightly. Whether it obviously didn't affect the places at all, but it looked messy, and James Doyle really timed his run to perfection there. He knew that the horse liked the conditions, and it was a messy start, but then he really managed to stay out of the trouble, and he had that nice position in the field there. And I think obviously the loose horse did have a small effect on Shabil Al Jazeera.
So a 1-3-4-6 for the visitors here, because Magical Wish finished 6th, just one place behind Kinks, who was 5th. So 4 of the first 6 home were international contenders, which should, we hope, encourage plenty more international participation when it comes to this event in 2023. There is the official result then. Silent Film, the winner of the Al-Sakhir Cup for Godolphin, Charlie Appleby and James Doyle. Shabil Al Jazeera was second for Marcialis Jorge and Al Mohammadiya Racing. Osama Hashim was the trainer. King's Knight has finished third here for Safi Osborne and Charlie Hills, and Natural Path has come home in 4th place for Martin Seidel and Michael Bell. That's the 1-2-3-4 in the Al-Sakhir Cup. A reminder that the reserves didn't get a run and all 16 ran on the outer turf over 1,400 metres. The Al-Sakhir Cup, a rather magnificent trophy that will be presented very shortly, and the presentation party will shortly be taking their positions on the podium. And the Al-Sakhir Cup this year will be presented by His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, who is the chairman of the High Committee here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, and he will be presenting the trophy to representatives of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed's Godolphin operation, the owners of Silent Film. Of course, Charlie Appleby unable to be here today. They are racing in Meydan today, the continuation of the Dubai World Cup Carnival. But this is quite a significant moment, really, not just for Dubai, but also for Bahrain, because this is the first horse that has come from Sheikh Mohammed's big Godolphin stable based in Dubai this winter to come and race here at the Bahrain Turf Series, and a winner under James Doyle, and they could well follow up in the very next leg. We've had some really thrilling sport here today, and certainly this final week of the Bahrain Turf Series has been blessed by most gorgeous weather here, and the presentation party is now taking to the stage. So welcome, as I said, to the stage His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, chairman of the High Committee here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, to present the prize for the Al-Sakhir Cup to James Doyle and representatives of the winning owners, Sheikh Mohammed's Godolphin team. Silent Film, the winner of the Al-Sakhir Cup. So Silent Film, the winner of the Al-Sakhir Cup for top international rider James Doyle. And it's the aspiration of the Kingdom of Bahrain not just to produce thoroughbreds that can compete on the world stage, but also jockeys that might yet do so. And of course they have the great advantage of learning from some of their international counterparts during the course of this winter season, but also the Jockey Academy that's based here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club. And Matt Chapman has been along to find out a bit more.
So, Paddy, as you can see, I take fitness very, very seriously, but a jockey has to take it even more seriously. You seem to have plenty of facilities here to help them on their way?
Yeah, we have a great strength and conditioning coach, Nick, and we've got basically everything we pretty much need here. So myself and Nick have developed a fitness test for a licensing here. There was never one before. So we're starting to put it into practice. It's very much based on the English and Irish model, and yeah, the guys are training to get to that stage.
I think only people who've ridden racehorses really understand exactly how strong you need to be. The equipment here, what are the sort of perhaps 2 or 3 most important factors? If you're a young rider, you're a Bahrainian apprentice trying to make it, what do you have to work on most?
I suppose you're not trying to build muscle to start with. You know, you really want resistance. Flexibility is another big thing, and also treadmill or go out and run the track is just as effective. But just resistant bands, and we have the simulators as well. You'll be surprised how hard you work on a simulator, because when you're riding a horse will respond to every movement, but the simulator is like a training tool that just grinds you down, you know. So up here is a balance box. So if you're off balance for more than a second, you'll get a beep. So you see? Then if you hit it in the right place, you'll get a green light. If you hit it in the wrong place, red light.
If you're too heavy for it, Paddy, is there another light that comes on?
Yeah, well, it'll probably just fold.
Blows up. But it's great equipment to have, isn't it?
Oh, it's brilliant, brilliant. Like, I mean, they're quite expensive, but it's the only thing that will get you anywhere near close to riding a race.
But one thing that everyone seems to have realised here at Bahrain is if you're going to do this, you have to put the money in and do it properly, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're putting in the proper foundation, Matt. Like I said before, it's small steps at the minute, but it's a step in the right direction. And it's, you know, in the future, hopefully we can churn out 3, 4, 5 jockeys a year.
Matt Chapman there, finding out a little bit more about the Jockeys Academy here in Bahrain. And Matt is with us here today, as are a number of international connections, owners, trainers, all enjoying themselves here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club. And some have been incredibly faithful supporters of this event, Ali, over the last few weeks. And you've been here every week.
I have. I've been enjoying coming out here to Bahrain. I've definitely got the best weather today, and it's so good to see so many connections, so many owners, trainers bringing their family, enjoying, I guess, a bit of a holiday in this part of the world. The weather's been fabulous, the hotels are good, and the hospitality and the friendliness of the racing club really comes through, and people want to come and enjoy Bahrain. And I hope next year, you know, more international horses will come over and contest these races, and perhaps be a bit more competitive. But it was great to have a first international winner of the last race. Are we going to have another one in this one? Because we've got another good old horse, and we've got 4 international runners amongst the 10 runners in this second Bahrain Turf Series race. It's the Vision 2030 Cup over 2,000 metres.
So here we go then for the Vision 2030, and from us down here in a packed winners enclosure. Darren, up to you with runners and riders for our next.
Thanks, Nick. Yes, the final Bahrain Turf Series race. It is the Vision 2030 Cup, 2,000 metres the journey. Number 1 is Tambarada, been to give Godolphin, Charlie Appleby and James Doyle a famous double today. Number 2 is Bonds Boy, Charlie Bishop now aboard. Number 3 is Ardab and Jason Watson. 4, Arcoob, the Pool B winner for the Turf Series, Arcoob and David Egan. Number 5, Mission Boy and John Egan. Number 6 is Zagato, Neil Callan is aboard. 7, Brains and Safi Osborne. 8, Hauser Black and Owen Walsh been to take this prize back to Scotland for Keith Dalgleish. Number 9, La Machina is a non-runner. Number 10, Wait Forever and Abdullah Faisal, and number 11 is Zimiran partnered by Cameron Noble. So La Machina, the non-runner. Number 2, Bonds Boy, partnered by Charlie Bishop. This is the final Turf Series race. It's the Vision 2030 Cup.
And runners, Darren, are now in the paddock in front of you for this final race in the Bahrain Turf Series. And you're having a look at number 2, Ali, Bonds Boy.
Yeah, today going to be ridden by Charlie Bishop in the absence of Paddy Mathers. Asema Hashim is the trainer, and this one's been really consistent in the Bahrain Turf Series races, been running well in the minor places, but was a winner back on Christmas Eve over 1,800 metres, so steps up today over the 2,000 metres. That's number 2, Bonds Boy.
Now here's a really significant horse. This is Arcube. He's already won the £25,000 prize in this division for being the most consistent performer in it, but he really deserves to win one, and it would be a great tribute to him if he were to. David Egan takes over from Kieran Schumacher today because Kieran has to ride another horse in the race. But William Jarvis has kept this horse in really good form throughout, and his owners are here today.
Horse number 11 then is one of two runners for owner Al Hassanain Racing. This one is Zimmeran, a horse who's won 5 times in his career, going to be ridden by Cam Noble today. Ali Jan, the trainer, stepping up in trip to 2,000 metres, been running over the 1,800 metres, finished 6 lengths behind Classical Wave when we last saw this horse in a Bahrain Turf Series race. A lot of today's runners lining up were in that race just 2 weeks ago behind Classical Wave. In fact, 8 of the 10 runners all met back on the 5th of February. Zagato, the best of them that day, finishing in second to Classical Wave. But a lot of these horses are running again then and lining up against each other for one final time in the Bahrain Turf Series.
And we can have a look at Zagato now. There he is. Beautifully bred horse from one of the Helena Springfield Meehan Valley families by Frankel. Hesham Al-Haddad has already been mopping up here today, as he has done for the majority of the season. Neil Callan looking for a double. There he is, Zagato. Horse 8 we're going to have a look at next. This is Hauser Black.
Hauser Black, who's been a regular in the Bahrain Turf Series races. This is his 5th start. He's trained by Keith Dalgleish. Owen Walsh as the jockey today, taking over from George Wood. And as I said, it's his 5th start in the Kingdom this winter. He's been based over here in the owner colours of Midland Park Racing, and has got to improve really on his runs so far this season. Owen Walsh is taking over from George Wood. That's number 8, Hauser Black.
That's Hauser Black, and 7's an interesting runner, Brains, who's getting there slowly but surely. Significant improvement with each of his 3 starts so far in Bahrain. In the colours of the judges, for Jamie and Safi Osborne, Safi and her partner David Egan have been real staples of the season here and have put so much into making this experience what it is. It would be great to see them have a winner. That is number 7, Brains, gelding by Dandy Man, 6-year-old, really experienced now. The bell's gone for jockeys to mount then, ahead of the Vision 2030 Cup. The horse we haven't seen is the horse that's bidding to give James Doyle and Charlie Appleby the big race double. Number 1, Tambarada, Dubawi gelding.
And Tambarada is at the far end of the parade ring. Horse number 1 just come in. A horse that's very lightly raced, just had 4 starts. He won all 3 his first starts before finishing 5th in a very good handicap at Newbury in May. So had quite some time off horse 1. That's at Tambarada. James Doyle looking for a quick double for Charlie Appleby. And it's got to be fancied. Conditions should suit this one. And said very unexposed, this horse number 1. That's Tambarada, which we'll hope to have a look at shortly.
Looks really well, this horse, just coming past us now. A pick of the paddock, I think, Ali, by quite some way.
There we are. You can see him in the picture there. Horse number 1 looks really well. These horses travelled over from Dubai, landed just yesterday. So really running off the plane as such. There's horse number 1, James Doyle, in the parade. We'll be getting on shortly.
5 is Mission Boy here for Haider Ibrahim. John Egan taking the ride. John Egan has been a great supporter of racing in Bahrain for many years now. This horse just isn't in great form, to be honest. Needs to find quite a bit more than he did when finishing down the field in a Grade 2 last time. He wasn't beaten miles, and he is sort of running into a little bit of form, but you need to step up to 2,000 metres to really bring about significant improvement. Jason Watson, Ali's had a great season here in Bahrain.
He certainly has. He took the Bahrain International Trophy back in November. He came over and won the Crown Princess Cup on medal winner in these colours, the Al Mohammedia racing colours. And today he rides horse number 3, Ardab, a horse that was with Ed Dunlop last season back in the UK, had 4 good runs in Bahrain, comes here with every chance, and especially when you got Jason Watson riding, big race winning jockey, he is going to be on horse number 3, Ardab.
And finally, horse number 10, Wait Forever, an entire by Camelot for Abdullah Faisal and Ali Jan in the colours of Al Hassanian, racing another Mian Valley stud bred horse. Didn't run too badly at all, the old boy behind Classical Wave last time, and 2,000 metres will prove no barrier to him, and it could well be that he's just picking up a few pieces late on after others have done their running. That's number 10, Wait Forever, with the cheek pieces on, one of two in the race for Al Hassanian Racing. So the runners are heading down to the post then for this Vision 2030 Cup, run over 2,000 metres, and at the 2,000 metre start, let's check in with Tom Stanley.
Nick, thanks very much. We've got a few down at the start. Oh, and like that, more come along. Why don't we start with number 1, Godolphin Blue over the far side. They're, of course, looking for a quick-fire double. Thank you, James Doyle. Great. Off he goes into the distance. We'll pick him up again. Let me go far side, if I can, to number 8 over there. Which is Owen Walsh on board, Howls Are Black. I remember this horse running a few starts ago, and Owen had to do a terribly low weight on the horse. It's a bit higher now. I think he still had to shed 2.5 kilos this morning, Owen. Wouldn't be one of the shortest jockeys out there, but they have a chance here on Howls Are Black. George Wood was on board last time, and he needs to improve on what we've seen of late. But on his earlier season form out here, he wouldn't necessarily be out here for Keith Dalgleish. Number 4 right in front of us here, David Egan on board. She's got that red hood on as well. And that is our Coupe. David Egan taking over from Kieran Schumacher on this horse. Now, this horse we know is the winning most horse in this division out here, which is great for connections, great for owner and trainer who'll pick up a prize off the back of this. That red hood will come off very shortly. More down at the start shortly. Let's find Nick.
Tom, I'm with Ed Veal, who's the International Services Manager here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, formerly with the International Racing Bureau. Experience, I'm sure, stood you in very good stead, Ed, for a real challenge getting these international horses out here this winter. How have you enjoyed it?
I've loved it. It has been a challenge. It's taken us 9 races to get one on the board, but a massive thank you to Godolphin for supporting, to Charlie, to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. It's great to have these top-class horses out here. I mean, they were very close in the international. So to get a winner on the board is great.
You've raced all around the world, in the Far East, in the United States, in Europe. How does Bahrain as an experience compare for you, and where do you think this kingdom's going?
Well, I hope we're only going up. It's the experience is hopefully the key word there. I'm very proud that we put on a great experience for connections. We're hopefully growing, and yeah, this is a really good platform. I hope this year for future success for international competition, but also future success for the local owners and trainers here. The quality of horses is only getting better. We'll keep growing, hopefully in the right manner, increase the prize money as we can, and yeah, we'll keep trying to deliver a good level game of racing.
Doing a great job, Ed. Thanks so much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, standing in the winner's enclosure, joining me now is William Jarvis, trainer of our Coupe. And our Coupe is already guaranteed that extra £25,000 prize pot because he's won this pot B as such for the races over 9 and 10 furlongs. You've had a wonderful winter, haven't you, with him?
Well, we've enjoyed it, and it's been a big effort. James Bosley has been out here since before Christmas, and looked after him tremendously well. Richard Banks, his owner, has supported us all the way through, and we've had we've got a bonus.
We can see him there in the picture there. He's looking really well, and he's obviously enjoyed the conditions, the weather, of the bit of sun on his back.
I think he's acclimatised really well. He's loved it, and so have we. But it would be nice just to get his head in front, and it's great to have come so close. But we'd like to win today.
Yeah, he's been super consistent. And in terms of looking ahead to the future, would you like to send more horses out here or encourage more international trainers to have runners as part of the series?
Oh, I think so. There's not much to like about the experience. You've got to have the right horse probably, and they need to be sound and they need to be of good mind. But I think the right horse would suit them.
Good luck with Arkoob in this final Bahrain Turf Series race. There he is. He looks fantastic. And it's going to be ridden by David Egan this afternoon. Thank you very much to William Jarvis. Let's head over to the start then, standing very close to Arkoob. Say hello to Tom, and who's in prime position down by the stalls.
Yeah, the hood's just come off Arkoob. He goes forward. We know that he has won this division, but will he win this race? We'll find out. He's penultimate horse in. Last in is Brains. Here's Darren Owen.
The final Bahrain Turf Series race, and that's it. They're off for racing for the Vision 2030 Cup, and the journey in front of this field is 2,000 metres, and away smartly up along the inside, Bonds Boy as they go towards that first turn. Bonds Boy is being followed by Tambarada in the blue jacket, and going along on the wide outside is Wait Forever yellow cap, and then between horses Mission Boy as they take the turn. Further back to Zagato, followed by Zimiran. Arkoob back in mid-division ahead of Hauser Black as they level up for the back straight. On the inside is Ardab, and Brains is giving them start. Down the far side they move, and it's Bonds Boy and Charlie Bishop in front, and it's about a 2.5 length advantage over Tambarada, and double seeking James Doyle on the inside of Mission Boy. Still there to the wide outside, Wait Forever, then undercover Arkoob in company with Zagato. They're being chased by Zimiran, and then comes Ardab, a red jacket, red cap, Hauser Black second last, and Brains remains in rear. Leaving the back straight behind them, less than 1,000 to go, and it's Bonds Boy with a lead of 3 lengths. There's a tight call for second place with Mission Boy alongside Tambarada, who's on the inside rail. Wait Forever is going 3 wide as they pass the 800 and head now towards the turn in. Zagato in mid-division with Arkoob for company. Arkoob now coming under a ride as Ardab makes ground on the wide outside, and they're dashing towards the final 400 metres. From the front it's Bonds Boy by a couple of lengths, chased hard by Wait Forever down the outside, and then coming there between horses Zagato with the white cap. Tambarada's just in behind them ahead of Ardab, and then comes Zimiran and Arkoob with work to do, heading down towards the final 200, and it is Zagato and Neil Callan. They've kicked for home, and they've taken several lengths out of this field now. Wait Forever just about in second place from Tambarada, and then comes Bonds Boy, but it's all over. Zagato will take the money. It's all parcelled up. Zagato the winner. Second place goes to Zimiran. Arkoob brave there in third. Further back to Hauser Black, Wait Forever, Brains, Tambarada, Bonds Boy, and Ardab is next. And looking back, Mission Boy is just crossing the line now at long last. So Neil Callan has done it again. The top man here in Bahrain this season in the weighing room, Neil Callan and Zagato. Zagato, this gelded son of Frankel, has dashed right away from this field to win in impressive style for Hesham Al-Haddad, the top trainer this campaign. They were racing for places inside the last 200 because this fella, Zagato, had it won.
Well, the first leg a little earlier today might have been a nail-biter. This was a rout, a romp, a destruction from Zagato, building on that excellent second to Classical Wave last time in a series race and winning the final leg in hand under Neil Callan, for whom he completes a double. Another success for Al Mohammadiyah Racing. The best bred horse in the race by Frankel out of Izzy Top, a truly quality international pedigree, and this horse really streaking clear of rivals that he's made to look inferior today. Only a 4-year-old, relatively lightly raced, late developing, a horse who's got more to offer and may have more to offer, not just here in Bahrain but elsewhere as well. Well clear of his field. It was tight, as Darren said, for the minors. We'll confirm the second, third and fourth in a few moments' time. An excellent run from Zimiran for Cam Noble and Ali Jan, and Arkoob has run his usual very honest game race. The pink cap under David Egan just got tapped for a bit of pace when Zagato really quickened from the front end, got shuffled back in the pack a bit, but then when produced with a bit of daylight, far right of picture, ran on quite stoutly here to claim a share of the minor honours. But they were all in the wake, and the distant wake, of Zagato, who's won as he liked, and Neil Callan's at the double, and he's with Ali Vance.
Yeah, huge celebrations down here on the track, particularly for Neil. How satisfying is that, Neil, given you were so narrowly beaten last time?
Yeah, you know, actually, I could not believe I was beat the last day. I never wanted to blow my own trumpet, but I was drawn 11, I got on the fence, got the lovely run through, hit the front, and I thought, wow, this is right at the season, and I got mugged by a pretty decent horse of Fauzi's, but Hesham's. But I galloped him after racing here last Friday, and wow, I thought he really improved. And I thought, coming in today, I was that confident. I don't think you could get beat, even being drawn on the outside of the field. But they ran along. He got a lovely slip through on the fence behind the Godolphin horse, and to be fair, he got there a bit too early on him, but he's such a nice horse and he's such a willing partner. He was never going to get beat today.
No, you had a cheeky look at the big screen I saw and sort of couldn't quite believe you were that far clear.
Yeah, well, I when I slipped down the inside and they swung out a bit, and I gave him a squeeze and a kick, he kind of accelerated really fast. But when they're doing like that, you don't want to take a pull on them and disappoint them. So I kind of let him cruise up to them, and I thought, inside the two, I prefer to be the furlong ball. But anyway, let's go and win. So look, he's a nice horse. He's improving very fast.
He certainly is. Congratulations, Neil. Another Bahrain Turf victory. And another victory today, a second double for Neil Callan. Well, and this one winning is Zagato.
Provisional placings for the final Bahrain Turf Series race, the Vision 2030 Cup. First, number 6, Zagato and Neil Callan. Second, number 11, Zimiran, partnered by Cameron Noble. Third, number 4, Arcoob, the Pool B winner, picking up more points, more prize money today. Great run from number 4, Arcoob in third. And just for the record, number 8, Hauser Black, has taken 4th place. That's 6-11-4-8.
So victory then for Zagato, streaking clear in the closing stages under Neil Callan. Fauzi Nass is alongside me. Hesham Al-Haddad has slunk away. Come in, Hesham, as well, because it's your, I don't know, how many winners have you trained now this Bahraini season? It's like 54, 55 now?
Yeah, 54 now.
And not many that were as easy as that. I mean, Zagato just showed pure class today. Was that the sort of performance you were anticipating?
We were anticipating from him some good performance. He was very consistent in his performance earlier races. But today we were looking for him to win, but not that by far.
I mean, Neil Callan really never had a moment's doubt. He was very complimentary of the horse. Yeah, Fauzi, with your international perspective here, this is a really well-bred horse who sort of should do that on his pedigree. Do you think we're just scratching the surface with him a little bit?
Well, we might do. We'll see what the handicapper does with him. He's rated a bit low at the moment, but we'll see what the handicapper does with him. He won far enough, so let's hope.
He really did.
Let's hope the handicapper is not too harsh.
Think he might be a stakes horse again?
I think he will be.
I think he will be, says Fauzi Nass, and he should know he's got all the experience. Hesham Al-Haddad, the leading trainer by miles here in Bahrain, has trained yet another winner, and he's had Neil Callan, an able accomplice in the silks of Sheikh Sultan's Al Mohammadiyah Racing. a few moments until the presentation for our final leg of the Bahrain Turf Series. And Ali, there'll be some special presentations as well to really reward horses who've been stalwarts of this series in the two divisions. Just tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, the two divisions. Pot A is for the 6 and 7 furlong horses. Pot B for the 9 and 10 furlong horses. Happy Craft, who's won 2 Bahrain Turf Series races over that shorter distance, has been confirmed the winner of that pot, those races. And Arqub, we already knew was the winner. So we're going to see those cheques being handed out today. An extra £25,000 for connections of both those horses.
Okay, so once again we welcome to the presentation podium His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the chairman of the High Committee of the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, presenting the trophy to Sheikh Sultan, whose Al Muhammadiyah Farms have had yet another winner here at the Bahrain Turf Series, with Zagato, a runaway winner of our 6th race today, the Vision 2030 Cup, generously supported by Batelco. Fawzi Nas and Hesham Al-Haddad responsible for the handling of this horse, picking up their salvers from His Highness Sheikh Isa, and the winning rider hot-footing it from the jockey's room. Here he is, top-class international pilot, Neil Callan. Zagato the winner. And we are going to present the cheques, totaling £50,000 for the 4 cheques to the connections responsible for the horses who have won the 2 pools here, who have been most consistent through the Bahrain Turf Series. And Pool B has been won by Arqub, as you were saying, Ali, and delighted that Richard Banks is here today with his daughter Emma and trainer William Jarvis. And I think they're going to very shortly be in receipt of the cheque. £15,000 for the winning owner and £10,000 for the winning trainer.
Yeah, so consistent, Arqub, and it just is about turning up and running well in these races. Finished 2nd today, been otherwise well placed, had a 3rd, had a 2nd earlier in the season as well, behind earlier in the series behind Happy Craft. Arqub, though, James Bosley, who looks after the horse, he's been over here all winter, spending Christmas out here. It's although it's a lovely place to be away from home for those months. So it's great to see Arqub pick up that extra prize money for his consistency and doing so well in these Turf Series races. Yeah,
I think over to my left we have got the cheque for Arqub for £25,000. And when our presentation party have had their photographs done and taken, we're going to be asking, I think, Sheikh Isa to present the cheque for £25,000 to the connections of Arqub. Still 1 or 2 more photographs for the Vision 2030 Cup for Sheikh Sultan. And here we go with the cheque for Arqub for Pool B. So please show your appreciation for owner Richard Banks and trainer William Jarvis. And James Bosley, who's, as Ali said, has been with the horse throughout his trip here to Bahrain, receiving their cheque for £25,000 now from His Highness Sheikh Isa. So the cheque's made out to Arqub. Hopefully he can cross it, if you can still do that these days. Leading horse over 1,800 and 2,000 metres. There we are, that's the cheque for Arqub. And Ali, tell us a bit about our winner in Pool A.
Happy Craft, who's won 2 Turf Series races and done well in some of the others as well. An Argentinian bred mare for trainer Alan Smith. Edward Rodriguez has been riding the horse, and to huge success. So they're getting the £25,000 prize there from Sheikh Isa as well.
So that is Happy Craft, Alan Smith for M&E Racing. So that completes the Bahrain Turf Series. I hope you can join us online at the Rashid Equestrian Horse Racing Club website for the remainder of today's card. But from Ali and from me, from all the team here, wherever you are in the world, good night from now.
Coming up next, we've got race number 7, the His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. 6 runners going to post for the locally bred thoroughbreds over 2,200 metres. Number 1 is Epic and David Egan. Number 2, Alejandro and Kieran Schumacher. 3, Sabrina and Hussein Maki. Number 4 is Living Art and Neil Callan. Number 5, Newsbreaker, Edison Rodriguez. And number 6 is Retort and Rashim Jassim for Alan Smith. 6 runners to go to post, 2,200 metres. The journey. Let's now go paddock side and join Tom.
Darren, thank you. Yes, horses are in the paddock. Then we're going to start with horse number 2. He's walking around nice and relaxed, this horse. It's Alejandro for Kieran Schumacher. Alan Smith teaming up in the colours of Aldiat Racing. Over 2,200 here, 2,000 last time. Ran a good race, just finishing second. That was stepping up in trip from 1,800, where he'd looked pretty good, winning 2 on the bounce. Must have a lively chance of getting another one up this season. He looks nice and calm walking around the paddock. Number 5 is Newsbreaker, who is right behind him. There is number 5, and that is Newsbreaker for Edison Rodriguez and Alan Smith in the victorious colours. Been placed a couple of times so far this season. Looks a horse that wants a trip, actually. And best run probably came over 1,800 under this rider, to be honest. But he's having another go over the 2,200, looking for a 12th career success. Number 6 is Retort. Another one for Alan Smith in here in the victorious colours. And quite like the step back up and trip for this horse off the back of his run over 2,000 last time. Just touched off by Aslan. And that came off the back of another second over this course and distance. The good news form is decent from November when he ran over 2,000 metres. Retort. You can tell that these are horses that are competing over a half-decent trip here because they do look nice and relaxed walking around the paddock. Got a mixture of pedigrees on show. Pick of them at the moment, I think, is horse number 2. I do like the look of Alejandro. And number 1 is Epic. David Egan has made his way into the paddock already. He rides here for Hesham Al Haddad, owned by Fawzi Nas, who's had great success out here this season, and in Dubai, of course. This horse is stepping up in trip off the back of a win last time over 2,000. I don't think that the triple will be a problem for this horse. And he's been pretty accurate over 1,800, over 2,000, has one over shorter previously. So he'd have a nice chance. He's not right in front of me yet, so I wouldn't mind just seeing him walk by me and seeing how he is off the back of about a 3-week absence, this horse. Quiet as a lamb, he is. Epic. He's looking for a 5th career success. He'll come out of stall number 2. Nice looking horse in front of me. Epic. Son of Asmar. So the riders are out in the paddock. There's the victorious team. That's we've got Edison Rodriguez, Ali Rahim Jassim, and Hussein Maki combined today. Kieran Schumacher there for Alan Smith and Al Adiat Racing. He'll be getting on board Alejandro, who I think looks really well. There is David Egan. He's had a nice full season of it out here and had a good time riding plenty of winners, teaming up with Fawzi Nas, officially Hesham Al Haddad, but owner Fawzi Nas in this instance. And he's had 15 wins so far out here, so he's had a really good time, but really solid strike rate, pushing 30%. Only Neil Callan, who's won a couple of races already tonight, but only Neil Callan can better that strike rate-wise. He's on a solid 30%, though, is David Egan. Good crowd in today for the close of the BAHRAIN Turf Series. Welcome along. I hope you've enjoyed all the action. 2 good races to finish off. And we've had a look at most of them in the paddock. We've done Epic, Alejandro. Got Newsbreaker and Retort. So it might just be Living Art we're waiting on. No eyes on him as yet. So these could be a couple heading out. Sabrina, I think, could be the horse who's about to head out. And Hussein Markio, I think, is up already. And Sabrina will be heading in the victorious colours, daughter of Imperial Star. She's got some good form as well. Racked up a couple earlier on this season. 2,000 probably just caught her out. That was in a high-grade race, and she's having to go over 2,200 now, Sabrina, in that pre-parade ring. Not certain about the distance. She's got it to prove, but 1,600 certainly hasn't been a problem. This is obviously a little bit further. There it's just saying Marquis in the saddle. She will come out of stall number 6. She's won a good few times, this mare, and done well out here. And then we've got Living Art to find as well for Neil Callum and Hesham Al-Haddad. Neil, his first full season out in Bahrain, he tops the Jockeys Championship, and he's had another couple tonight, so that takes him to 19 winners from about 55 runs, I think, so pushing 35 as far as a strike rate goes. This Sabrina, she's got a bit of company heading out, just being ponied out there. I don't know if she can be a little bit tricky, but she's got company heading to the start. The stalls are really not far away. You can just see over to your left, that is where the gates are, and they're positioned on the outside of the track, so that because we go straight into a turn over this 2200, it means you don't have too much of a bend to go into. So it acts almost like a chute, if you like, down the top bend and then into the back straight. So we are not too far away from our penultimate contest, over 2,200 metres. First one's arriving down at the start.
So Sabrina has arrived at the start already. Number 3, Sabrina, down at the start. As Tom was saying, it's just a short walk or a short canter to the starting point for this race over the 2,200 metres journey. The other runners still in the parade ring. So Sabrina is at the post. The others will follow shortly.
So this Grade 2 race for local breds is a trial for the King's Cup, which will be held mid-March. So an important race, and 5 of the 6 runners in this lined up in the Crown Prince's Cup back at the end of January. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th running in this. Second that day was Alejandro, number 2, beating Sabrina, who finished in 3rd. Epic, horse number 1, ran in the Bahrain Derby that day and won that race. Has won all 3 starts this season, so Epic comes here off the back of those 3 victories and is the one to beat. But the 4-year-old of the field, Alejandro, who finished 2nd in the Crown Prince's Cup for the local trained horses, the local bred horses rather. Kieran Schumacher takes the ride though on Alejandro for Alan Smith. First time Kieran Schumacher's been ridden this horse in the colours of Al Ariat Racing. And there is horse number 2, Alejandro, for Kieran Schumacher in the colours of Al Ariat Racing, as I said, for trainer Alan Smith. And the only other horse that we haven't seen now making his way into the parade ring is horse number 4, Living Art, who we last saw finishing 4th in the Crown Prince's Cup for local bred horses. But Neil Callan rides this horse today for the first time for Hesham Al-Haddad. They've had a great afternoon. Can they win another race? Then Living Art is horse number 4. One of the 6 runners in this race. As I said, a trial for the King's Cup in mid-March. So an important race for the local breds.
So, runners arriving at the start, on their way to the start, and there goes number 1 Epic, just having a canter in front of the enclosures before joining the others down at the starting point. So start just away to the left of the grandstand as you look out onto the course. So just the 6 runners going at 2,200 metres. Sabrina arrived at the start early, that one in the red jacket with the red and white striped sleeves. Dark blue with the white epaulets, that's Alejandro. He's got some wins on the board this season. Red jacket with the red cap, striped sleeves, Newsbreaker, number 5. Retort has got the white cap, red colours. Epic's been in good form, and you'll see Epic coming up the straight now. Number 1 Epic looking for a 4th win on the bounce. Epic. And Living Art is at the start, number 4. Living Art owned by Abdullah Fauzi Nas, just like Epic. So Living Art has got the blue cap. So all the runners are at the start. Field of 6 for race number 7. So we're looking at number 1 Epic, David Egan in the saddle. This horse, as I was saying, looking for a 4-timer. Won just a few weeks ago, winning narrowly on that occasion. This is a trial for the King's Cup, which will be run here next month for the locally bred thoroughbreds. Shot there in the dark blue, the white epaulets, that's Alejandro, who was a runner-up last time, but was in good form before that, winning here in early January. Kieran Schumacher aboard Alejandro. Red colours, white cap of Retort, who was second, beaten a neck by Aslan a few weeks back. Living Art, been to give Neil Callan a treble on the day. Living Art, who was a multiple winner here in December, has won over this trip of 2,200. Number 4, Living Art with the dark blue cap. Sabrina, number 3 in the red colours. Sabrina was well held last time. Been in good form with a win in mid-January before that. Remember, this is a Grade 2 race for the locally bred runners. They'll be going in shortly at the 2,200 start, so a circuit of the course ahead of them for our 7th race of the day. Newsbreaker there with the red cap, number 5. Newsbreaker was well beaten last time. So, looking at the racegoers of the future there. Great to see a good crowd in attendance for this, our final Turf Series afternoon here at SAKHIR Racecourse. In perfect conditions as well out on the track. Now the runners are about to go in for this, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. There goes Epic. Epic in the starting stalls, joined by Retort. Now moving up is Living Art with Neil Callan aboard Living Art. Drawn on the inside. Short run to that turn, they go into the turn. Almost immediately after the start. Newsbreaker. Just taking a turn before going forward. Newsbreaker to go into stall number 3. That's Newsbreaker going in. So still to load Sabrina and Alejandro to complete the lineup at the 2200. Alejandro goes in. That leaves Sabrina. And that's it, they're set. And they're off. And the slowest one to leave the starter was Sabrina, just taken back early retort. Meanwhile, going into the first turn, it is Newsbreaker has the advantage over Living Art and Alejandro. Epic is just in behind them, followed by Sabrina and Retort. Going down the side of the track, and the running is being made by Newsbreaker. Newsbreaker with this advantage of around 2 lengths. Alejandro is showing up in second place, up along the inside. Living Art as they go into that turn. Epic is right around the field, further back to Sabrina and the back marker Retort. So they've got 1600 still to go. They go on down the far side, and it is Newsbreaker bidding to hit the headlines today. Leads by about a length and a half to Alejandro. Dark blue cap and of Living Art with the yellow striped sleeves to the inside. Epic still right around them, followed by Sabrina, and last of all Retort. Going on down the far side of the track with around 1200 to go, and it is Newsbreaker with a length advantage, but now Epic being taken forward by David Egan to take on Newsbreaker for the lead, and it is Epic now hits the front, being followed to the inside by Newsbreaker, then Alejandro and Living Art, further back to Sabrina, still second last, and Retort is the back marker. Around 800 metres still to go, and Epic leads by 2 lengths as they head towards the turn in. The early leader Newsbreaker now in second place, just holding second from Alejandro. Sabrina's coming there to the wide outside. Living Art is following, and Retort is the trailer as they turn the corner. 600 metres left to go, and it's Epic now in front by 2 lengths. Alejandro is giving chase from Newsbreaker. Around the field, Sabrina there coming with a big run from Living Art as they head down towards the final 400. So it is Epic in front by a couple of lengths, trying to maintain this lead. Sabrina is the one finishing off really well. Living Art is also trying to stay on from Alejandro. They head down towards the last 200, and Epic has got 3 lengths on this field. Sabrina in second position from Living Art in third inside the last 100, and it is Epic. He's really on a roll, this horse. Epic trying to hold on from Living Art, who's coming late. Epic holds on. 4 straight wins. Epic the winner, Living Art second place. Sabrina follows, chased by Retort, Alejandro, and then Newsbreaker. So good results for the stable with a 1-2. It is Epic beating Living Art for Abdullah Fawzi Nas and Hisham Al-Haddad. David Egan doing the steering aboard Epic. Living Art staying on in the hands of Neil Callan for second place. That's 4 straight wins for Epic.
And a 16th winner of the season for David Egan, who's had such a good time of it out in Bahrain this year. And Epic has scored. He's held on. I don't want to do him a disservice by saying that he's held on, because he's done it really nicely. But there's no doubt that Living Art under Neil Callan was closing with every step of the way up the straight, and it got really tight. Thought at this stage that Sabrina might pick up and come with a run down the wide outside, and she has started to get there, and then ultimately the efforts just faded out ever so slightly. And then look in second, now the run starts to come from Living Art. He starts to put his best foot forward, but Epic really has got too much left at this stage. In fact, Living Art finds an absolute bundle late on, but it's a really well judged ride from Epic. Came out of stall number 2 and attacked this race. And that's another one, a 5th career start. That's 4 on the bounce now, 1 over 1800, 1800, 2000. Has proved that 2200, no problem whatsoever. It does seem that a nice, prominent, handy ride gives him the best chance, and that's exactly what he's got here. Alejandro at this stage just started to fade out of it. That was game over for him. You can see wide was Retort at this point. And Retort's effort just fades slightly, actually just edges over to his right there and inconveniences Newsbreaker a touch, but that was game over for Newsbreaker. And Epic runs a really good race and books a spot for the big one out in, about 3 weeks away in March. David Egan on his way back in after another success. And well done to him, well done to Abdullah Fawzi Nas, the winning owner for Hesham Al Haddad, bred by Fawzi Nas as well. Epic wins under this man, David Egan, Ali.
Yeah, let's have a word with David, because David, you won the Bahrain Derby on this horse, so how impressed were you today with him up against the older ones?
Yeah, he's a horse who's got a lot of stamina, and tactically I thought for the first half of the race it didn't really suit us. The pace wasn't very strong and I had to kind of put the race in my own hands. I thought I had to go and grab the race by the scruff of the neck and try and make it a test of stamina, because he's a horse, he doesn't have a lot of speed, but obviously stepping up in trip helps, but he's a one-paced horse, and kind of once you start turning the bend you start going through the gears on him, but he showed he hit the line very well today.
And how good a trial was this for the King's Cup in the middle of March?
Absolutely, it's obviously a furlong longer for the King's Cup, but he's done everything right so far, and hopefully he can progress for the big race of the season, being the King's Cup.
Oh, well done today then. Victory for Epic and David Egan.
So the provisional result of race 7, the His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. First, number 1, Epic, partnered by David Egan. Second, number 4, Living Art and Neil Callan. So good result for Fawzi Nas and Hesham Al Haddad with the 1-2 there. Back in third place was number 3, that was Sabrina. And in fourth, number 6, Retort. 1, 4, 3, 6. Epic wins again.
Welcome back in, the winner of our penultimate contest, ridden by David Egan, trained by Hesham Al Haddad. Number 1, Epic.
Well done, David. He grew up with George Scott.
سمعتها؟ محمد مخ عند المخزن.
And the owner breeder of Epic is with me, Fawzi Nas. Well done. Ever a moment's doubt for you that he was going to hang on?
No, because we know he stays all day. He won the Derby not too far back, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And since then, we obviously upped the game with him, and he's shown it in his homework that he'll stay further.
At what point did he really start to, show that he was going to kick on and progress as he has? Or were you always confident at the start of the season that he could do this sort of thing this year?
We were always confident. Obviously, they don't race until they're 3, the local breds here. So he's shown us something over shorter trips last year. But we knew that going longer this year, he'll be a different class.
What's he like? Because he seemed to enjoy it on the front end there, but what's he like at home?
He's a very laid-back horse. You wouldn't think he's a racehorse, no. Which is how you want them to be, I suppose. You'd rather that than the other way around, wouldn't you, I suppose? Absolutely, absolutely. Nice horse.
And coming back here in March?
Back here in March for the King's Cup, hopefully, the local breds on the 11th of March.
What sort of chance do you think he'll have there?
He'll have one horse to beat, I think, which is Pulsar, my other horse.
Well, you can give us the best indication of who's the most likely winner out of the 2, Fawzi.
I don't know yet.
Thanks for your time. Well done.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And once again, congratulate Fawzi Nass, who's receiving his trophy after the 7th race, the His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup from Sheikh Isa, His Highness Sheikh Isa. And we have one more race to bring you.
So there's confirmation of the results of our 7th race. Number 1, Epic, the winner. 2nd, number 4, Living Art. And 3rd, number 3, Sabrina. And they've weighed in for race 7.
No surprise, more success here in Bahrain for Fawzi Nass and Hesham Al Haddad. Epic running out the winner of what was a relatively epic battle for the 7th race. We've got one more race to bring you, as I was saying. Time now to check back with the jockey school in Bahrain and match up.
So, Paddy, in our first video here at Bahrain, we learnt about what's going on at the Equestrian Centre and how things are developing. But, of course, what you want is young talent coming through. Now, we've got 3 horses out on the track. The 1st and the 3rd horse have experienced jockeys on. The 2nd horse has a fella called Ibrahim Nader on top, and he could just be a young Bahrain star.
He could, yeah, very much so. He's doing everything right. He's rode 28 winners. I think he's 2 off losing his apprenticeship here, which is only 30 winners. But if we could get Abraham to Ireland or England, and he's still an apprentice there, I think he's got a really bright future, Matt, and he's a lovely personality. And you can see from here this morning now, riding a piece of work, that he's got a lot of talent.
They're nipping past us now. Ibrahim's in the middle.
Ibrahim's in the middle. As you can see, he's nice and neat. The boys are doing everything right. They're all finishing head and head. He's a lovely style on a horse, and that's what you want. Even in Europe, that's the way you work. You don't want your horse off the bridle. You don't want your lads unbalanced. You want them head, head and head. And to be fair, you couldn't pick him out with the 2 boys either side of him. One's a champion jockey here in Bahrain, and one home Walsh has a lot of winners rode in the UK.
Yeah, I mean, he recently had a Leicester for a ride of the year up at Wolverhampton, so he certainly knows what he's doing. And you're a man who, in your heyday, rode Grade 1 winner in Hardy Eustace. You've won an Irish National. I know that's jumping, but you know talent when you see it. What is it particularly about this guy that makes you think, hold on, this is someone who can make it on the world stage?
I think personality to start with, Matt. He's just really, really likeable. There's a lot of natural talent there. Like Atton, Matt, like a footballer, and you can spot talent in someone. He's 20 now, he's mature, he listens to every word you say, he hangs on your word, and anything you tell him to do, he does it, and he improves from it. So since we've been here, this is our 3rd block for 6 weeks, he's just got better and better and better. And he's not small, so he works really hard at his weight. And you can't forget that it's not a full year of racing here. It's 6 months, you know, around that, and then a lot of the lads go and get a job after riding here. So I'd love if that kid could go to England for the summer and make it a profession. So we're very much at the start, but we're heading the right way.
Yeah, the message is clear. Ibrahim Nader, a name to follow.
And we're moving on to our final race of the day, the final race, the His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup. It's over 2,200 metres. Let's have a look at the lineup. Number 1 is medal winner and Jason Watson. Number 2 is Ace Rothstein and Charlie Bishop. Number 3, Rayoun Paul, Kieran Schumacher. Number 4, Macaque and Hussein Maki. 5 is Dawam and James Doyle. 6, Law of One and jockey Hassan Al Safa. Number 7 is Tawarek and David Egan. 8, Encourage, Neil Callan. And 9, Tall Order, Marvin Grande is the jockey. So 9 of them to face the start at 2,200 metres in front of them. The final race of the day, and Tom and Ali are in the paddock.
You go first.
Right, horse number 7 in front of us for this 8th contest. This is Tawarek for David Egan again, and Hesham Al Haddad. It's got a bit warm, this horse, Tawarek. And I think that hood is due to be whipped off. Good run over the 2,000 last time. That was off the back of a win ahead of medal winner. Then behind that horse last time, and he'll be looking to go one better than that start on the 28th of January over this 2,200 metres.
Let's have a look at horse number 6. Now, this is one of the runners that didn't run in the Crown Prince's Cup. This race is a trial for the King's Cup for the imported horses, and a lot of these horses ran in the Crown Prince's Cup. But Law of One wasn't one of those. He's going to be ridden by Hassan Al Safar today. Mohammed Saeed is the trainer. Last seen running just last week, finishing in behind Encourage. He also runs today. So this one is only a length behind Encourage. So been running in some good races, good. Before that, so just the week before, was running up against West Suffolk, has certainly improved on that run. So Law of One is one of the horses that didn't run in the Crown Prince's Cup, whereas 6 of the 9 others did and finished in behind medal winner, who's the one to beat today. So that horse there in your pictures, horse number 6, Law of One.
Number 8 is a couple back, that's Encourage. Neil Callum Hesham Al Haddad. We know this son of Ifraj stays, a gelded son of Ifraj who has won over 2,400 metres the last twice. Good bit of form on both of those occasions. The time was good a couple of starts ago. He comes out of stall number 4. Wonder if we get a handy ride here, looking to make use of that stamina. He stays a bit further, as I say, back to 2,200 metres, though shouldn't necessarily be an issue. Ali.
Horse number 9 is another one stepping down in trip. This is Tall Order for Jalal Al-Mala and Marvin Grandin riding Tall Order today. There he is in the picture there. Horse number 9, another one stepping down in trip. Been running over 2,400 metres. Finished in behind Encourage last time out. A good second to Encourage, who we saw just previously. So another good run they're hoping for another good run then for Tall Order, horse number 9.
This is the aforementioned medal winner who's got form ahead of and behind Tawarek. Medal winner trained by Hussein Al-Dalemi. And Jason Watson will be in the saddle on this grey gelded son of Olympic Glory. Jason was on board last time when this horse won over 2,000 metres. He's walking around nice and calm. He'll come out of stall number 3. He was placed before that over 2,000 metres. I don't think that the step up in trip is going to be a problem. And he's got form behind Ace Rothstein, who also lines up just behind him.
Horse 5, Dewam, trained by George Baker in the UK. James Doyle rides this horse. The horse has been running in plenty of the Bahrain Turf Series races before running in the King's Cup, or the Crown Prince's Cup rather, on the 28th of January. Finished 7th behind medal winner. Also ran behind Encourage last time out, horse just on the 4th of February. So Dewam is, as I said, trained in the UK, but George Baker been based over here for the last few months. James Doyle riding the horse though for the first time.
And the trainer of Dewam, yes, George Baker is with me now. George, you've been a real part of the furniture here in Bahrain during the winter. How have you and your team enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it hugely, Nick. It's, we came here with big, wide open eyes. It's incredibly competitive.
More competitive than you thought it was going to be?
No, genuinely not. We knew it was going to be really tough. And we brought a couple of old handicappers who've, they've run with credit. I think to be competitive over here, we'll be back, but it will be with the sort of maybe the 4-year-old progressive horses. It's been enormous fun, and the team here have looked after us brilliantly. We're definitely in this for the long term. These 2 horses have been a great sort of touchstone into a new racing jurisdiction that we're hugely excited to be part of.
And you have to be fair, been chipping away, chiseling away. Dewam, you're doing everything today. You've got the cheap pieces on. You've got James Doyle as well. Brought him in from Dubai. Just happened to ride a couple of Godolphin horses as well.
Well, obviously he came here for us.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, so we're delighted obviously to have James here. Done us a few favours down the years. Please God, he can do another one here. This horse is in good order. It's been a fantastic experience, a great learning curve. And yeah, we are committed. We'll be back.
And you've got a nice little group of owners with you today as well. Some have come from the UK, 1 or 2 from Spain as well. I mean, at least you managed to provide them with a runner in the last.
Well, funnily enough, the owners who came from Spain are involved in La Maquina, who sadly got a corn through the week. So a long way to come for a non-runner, but we're hopefully they're having a lovely experience. And
they seem to be having a very good time.
Well, great. The team here have really done amazingly well to make ourselves and our owners and our staff really welcome through the last 3 months. And sad that it's all coming to an end, but we've been thrilled to be part of it and much looking forward to be part of it on an ongoing basis.
Be quite something, wouldn't it, if Dawam could do the business now?
If Dawam could do it, you'll see me jumping off the top of that in a minute with excitement. No, it would be thrilling. I think we're up against it today. Most of these horses have finished in front of him and around him. We're perhaps better off at the weights with some of them, but it's a big ask. But we've got the right man on board, and we've got a horse in good order, and we're delighted to be here.
We'll be ready to catch you. Good luck, George.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, the sun has ducked away behind this grandstand now. But a good attendance here to see all the action today, including those last 2 races of the BAHRAIN Turf Series and our final 2 races after those tonight. This is the last of them. That is horse number 2, Ace Rothstein, who's out there on the Charlie Bishop for Michael Bell. And has form that ties in really well with horse number 1, medal winner, which I touched upon earlier. Was quite a way behind him last time, was 5th on that occasion, but ran really well over the 1800 prior when winning. He steps up in trip, so I suppose he has that to answer. He's a gelded sort of more than ready with his cheek pieces on, and that hood will come off shortly.
Horse number 3 in the Al Ariat colours is Rayanpur, a horse that finished 3rd in the Crown Prince's Cup on the 28th of January, finishing 2 3/4 lengths behind medal winner. Before got some good form back at the beginning of 2021. Kieran Schumacher rides this also for the first time today, trained by Alan Smith. That's horse number 3, Rayanpur.
And the one horse we owe that we haven't seen is Macaque. He was in that Crown Prince's Cup race last time, where he was pretty comfortably held behind medal winner. I suppose the good run was over the 1800 behind Ace Rothstein. But he'd have a little bit to find with those that have finished ahead of him now. Whether or not this 2200 will unlock the key to him, we shall see. He'll come out of stall number 5 under Hussein Marki. Ali, how do you see this working out then? Most likely winner for you?
Well, I think medal winner is the one to beat. So consistent, this horse. He's not been out of the top 2 in his last 9 starts. Obviously a very good winner of the Crown Prince's Cup when we last saw him back at the end of January. But a horse that he hasn't run up against is Encourage, in the same colours of Al Mohammedia Racing. This one being ridden by Neil Callan, number 8, Encourage. A horse that has run twice this season and has won twice this season. Before that was with Roger Charlton. So I think medal winner might struggle up against Encourage. It's going to be very interesting, the two horses in those Al Mohammedia colours. So I'd love to see medal winner do it, because I think he's a horse with such heart, and he tries so hard, and as I said, he's so incredibly consistent. But I think Encourage, horse number 8, is going to be tough to beat for Neil Callan and Hesham Al Haddad.
For a man who you've probably spoken to more than anyone else, given that he's rode the most winners out here, Neil Callan, he's had a fine first season out in Bahrain.
He has, yeah. He's leading jockey at the moment. He has 17 winners before today, so he's clocked up 2 this afternoon. Could be a 3rd here. So he's having a great time of it out here, but he's riding for the right man in terms of the Al Mohammedia colours there. Sheikh Sultan's got so many good horses out here. So Neil Callan got the pick of those horses, and he's gone for Encourage in this race.
And I suppose the key, as you point out there, is that we know he stays further. That was something that Fauzi for the locally bred horses was talking about in our recent race over this course and distance, that they knew that horse was going to stay and stayed. And we know this horse, Encourage, he stays further, so we know that this distance, a drop back 200 metres, is going to be absolutely no problem at all. Wonder if that means he'll get a forward ride out of 4. We shall see. All 9 are down at the post, couple going forward, few more to go in, and we will join Darren Owen.
Thanks, Tom. Yes, loading up, then well underway for the final race of the day. Going forward is Rayanpur, and now moving into place Macaque and Encourage. Neil Callan aboard Encourage. And Dawam has just loaded. Dawam drawn in stall number 9. standing by for a start, 2200 ahead of this field, and they're off. Law of One was the last one to stride, and away smartly was indeed Encourage. Up along the outside, Tall Order, Rayunpur just taken back, Towarek is racing prominently, and also Macaque as they swing around that first turn. Making the run down the side of the track, they form their early order, and it is Macaque moving on now from Encourage in second place, a length and a half further back to Tall Order, who's in the dark blue and white jacket, and then up along the inside comes a Towarek as they go towards the next turn. Buried in mid-division is a Rayunpur. On the wide outside, Ace Rothstein, not getting any cover, Little Keen goes in front of Rayunpur as they move into the back straight. Law of One and Dawam are the last two, so they move on down the far side with Macaque, the pace setter. It is Macaque by about a length and a half, being followed by Encourage in second place. Tall Order is in third. Towarek is just in behind these, followed by Ace Rothstein. The grey medal winner gets a shout in mid-division. Rayunpur is following the dark blue and white colours. Law of One to the inside running rail, and Dawam is the back marker. So they've got around 1100 metres still to go, and up along the inside it is Macaque, taken on once again by Encourage, and now Encourage moves on for Neil Callan narrowly to Macaque, with Tall Order running in third, Towarek 4, Ace Rothstein 5, medal winner is next, followed by Rayunpur. A Law of One second last, and Dawam the back marker, running now towards the final bend, and Encourage has got the lead. It's a lead of a length as they come to the top of the straight in the final 600 metres. Tall Order second place, Ace Rothstein in the clear to the outside of Macaque, there being followed by Towarek, and then further back to Rayunpur. Dawam with work to do, so too medal winner, and Law of One is the trailer, running now towards the last 400 metres, and Encourage has got company. It's Tall Order who's coming to challenge, and on the wide outside with a big run is Towarek in the red jacket, 3 wide, heading down towards the last 200. Towarek, Tall Order, Encourage, medal winner. The greys out after these, followed by Rayunpur. They run to the final 100 metres, and it is Towarek in front for David Egan, rallying Tall Order to the inside, but Towarek leads by half a length and collects. Towarek the winner, Tall Order second, medal winner third. Tight are the places, Dawam, Encourage, Rayunpur clear of Law of One, followed by Macaque and Ace Rothstein. So Towarek has won it, Towarek. And it's another one for David Egan and Hesham Al-Haddad, owned by Victorious. Towarek there coming on the outside to challenge, was 3 wide entering the final 400 metres, and has run on nicely. All credit to Tall Order. Tall Order rallied towards the finish, but it's another one for David Egan, and it's the son of Shamadal. Number 7, Towarek takes out the finale.
And has done this quite decisively. Towarek in the colours of Victorious, bred by Shadwell Estate Company, trained, yes, by that man again, Hesham Al-Haddad, and ridden by David Egan. You can't keep Egan down for too long, and this horse has delivered plentifully for him. Certainly on the bottom side of his pedigree, he's bred for plenty of stamina, and 2,200 metres, the furthest distance that he's run over for some time, was right up his street on this outer track, and he's responded gamely to pressure in the hands of a jockey who continues to impress in the saddle, and who 8 days from now will be bidding to win his second iteration of the world's richest horse race aboard the defending champion Mishrif. David Egan has been shining here in Bahrain during the winter, Tom, and in Towarek he's found himself a strong stayer with just a touch of class.
Yeah, no regrets from David Egan for coming out here for a full season out in Bahrain. He's made really good use of riding some excellent horses out here, both locally bred and imported. He's got a great tune out of Towarek there, and he's proved that he stayed this far. I think the plan was pretty obvious on Encourage, go forward, make it a bit of a test, back in trip. It didn't necessarily work out because the closers came and had a bit too much left at the finish for him. But this horse, Towarek, son of Shamadal, has stayed every bit of that under a very happy David Egan. He's had another good day in Bahrain.
Yeah, tremendous performance from Towarek, and Ali Vance is alongside the winning rider.
Yeah, Towarek's been such a good horse for you this season, David. What made the difference today, getting the better medal winner?
Yeah, I think maybe wasn't as strong a pace as the last day. I was kind of kicking myself in the foot. I sat handy on a strongly run race the last day, and medal winner's a strong stayer. So maybe didn't go as quick as maybe the last day, and he's got a very good turn of foot in the straight. I kind of just bided my time didn't pick up my stick too soon. I kind of used that to get us over the line, but he's a very genuine horse.
You finished second in the Crown Prince's Cup on this horse. You won the trial for the King's Cup. It's looking good for middle of March, a nice trial.
Absolutely. Look, to win a race for Team Victorious for His Highness Sheikh Nasser in the His Highness Sheikh Nasser Cup is a big privilege, and great to keep the cup for His Highness.
Certainly is. Congratulations and well done on a good day, a good double for David Egan, and winning our final race then on a really good horse, a horse that has been in the winner's enclosure in a Bahrain Turf Series race earlier this season, and in the winner's enclosure again in this King's Cup trial. Well done to Tawarek and David Egan.
So the provisional result of the 8th and final race of the day. First, number 7, Tawarek and David Egan. Second, number 9, Tall Order. Third, number 1, medal winner. And the fourth horse home was number 3, Rayounpour. So Tawarek takes the finale and comes back to the winner's enclosure now, the provisional winner of race 8.
Tawarek it is that wins the 8th and final race here this Friday afternoon at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club. Give him a big round of applause in the colours of victorious David Egan, riding for Hesham Al-Haddad. This gelded son of Shamadal out of Sundas by Sadler's Wells, bred by Shadwell Estates. The winner of the His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa Cup is Tawarek.
So the official results of the 8th and final race: first, number 7, Tawarek; second, number 9, Tall Order; third, number 1, medal winner; and fourth, number 3, Rayounpour. That result is now official. Weighed in for the 8th and final race.
And for the final time today, we welcome to the presentation podium His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, presenting the trophy for the final race and the win of Tawarek. Congratulations to the owners, victorious to trainer Hesham Al-Haddad and rider David Egan. Tawarek, the winner of the last race on the final day of the Bahrain Turf Series. So that brings the curtain down on what not only has been a great day in glorious conditions here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club, but also on what's been a pioneering concept, the Bahrain Turf Series. Ali Vance and Tom Stanley alongside me. Ali, you need to take centre stage here because you've been here pretty well throughout the entire series. How have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I think it's been a very successful inaugural turf series and been well supported. Given it is that first year, obviously very generous prize money, a wonderfully welcoming team here at the Rashid Equestrian Horse Racing Club, and all of the international trainers, owners that have come over have really enjoyed themselves, and I'm sure that they will be back, and hopefully they'll spread the word back in Europe or in the UK, Ireland, and get perhaps some European runners over here for next season. It's been competitive racing, very difficult to beat the local trainers.
Yes.
Fawzi Nas, Hesham Al-Haddad, they've got some very good horses out here. They know how to train the horses for the conditions here. They perhaps come out earlier to acclimatise for longer, and it's been interesting to see how the international horses have really adapted as the series has gone on, and almost today, Arqub doing so well. I mean, we had our first international winner today, but that came from Godolphin. But they've got better and better, the international runners, as they've acclimatised to conditions here.
And Tom Stanley, you spend a lot of your winters in Dubai as well as here in Bahrain, and whilst everybody was craving an international winner, perhaps with big syndicate ownership who'd come from the UK, we can't be too precious about this. We've got to appreciate the significance of a Godolphin winner coming from Dubai to the Kingdom of Bahrain and really fostering that relationship between these two racing nations.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's something that Charlie Appleby was keen to point out yesterday when talking about his two runners that he had out here, was that he wanted to support the Bahrain Turf Series. He called it the Bahrain Carnival. So there you are. That's effectively what we're seeing now. Perhaps not ideal that they coexist on the same evening now, of course, the action at Meydan and Bahrain, but great that Godolphin have the ammunition to send horses to both of them, and that they want to come out here and compete on this stage as well, because that's a really good horse who had won earlier on this year out at Meydan and followed up again at Bahrain. I think the main takeaway for me is that we've seen two connections, different connections, one local and one international, presented with their awards for both pools. And I think that was key. That's the ideal outcome for the series.
Yeah, and in that first leg today, in the penultimate leg of the series that we saw, we had 4 of the first 6 home trained internationally, which was key, and quite a few of the people that have been real stalwarts of this series, Charlie Hills and George Baker and William Jarvis, will go home happy even if they haven't managed to get a victory on the board.
Well, as I said, the horses seem to have improved in recent weeks, and as they've acclimatised and adapted to the conditions here, and so many of them gave their best runs today, and as you said, it was nice to see the international horses not be outclassed, actually hold their own in the end, because at one point it was looking like the local trainers were really going to dominate because they are so used to the conditions and have so many good horses here. But actually the international horses, they did well today, and I think it's encouraging for next season. Hopefully there'll be a bigger, stronger contingent.
And Tom Zagato was probably the most impressive winner of the day in the final leg of the Bahrain Turf Series. Fitting, really, that this should go to Sheikh Sultan's Al Muhammadiyah operation with Hesham Al-Haddad, who's now had 55, I think it is now, having had, he had 5 winners today? 55 winners he's had, or 56 winners.
Yeah, for a man, Neil Callan, who, he's been used to riding out in Hong Kong, and I suppose he took a risk coming back and riding in the UK and then coming out here and committing to a winter out in Bahrain. Well, it's worked out brilliantly, hasn't it? He's been seen in the winners' enclosure more than anyone else, and it just shows that the ammunition that Al Muhammadiyah Racing have got. They have got some seriously talented horses, and they've won another bundle again this evening.
And we're just seeing horses head out onto the track here. It's not another race. This is a schooling session, but we've got plenty of lights this time of year. What a beautiful day for it.
Yeah, it was perfect conditions out there. Having watched some of the images of Ali about 3 weeks ago, I'm really glad that we swerved that, because it looks seriously windy ultimately.
Yeah.
Today this was perfect, Ali.
Yeah, you guys have brought the nice weather. I've been out here in
beautiful.
January, we're up against the blustery conditions, the freezing cold weather, but today has been a beautiful afternoon.
Absolutely.
And
saying this as a storm hits the UK is
yes, exactly. Not very nice at home, but it's been wonderful here.
Gorgeous here. It is golden hour now, officially, here at the Rashid Equestrian and Horse Racing Club. A stunning sunset, and gradually the crowd ease their way home, having enjoyed a wonderful day's sport. And we will leave you with some of the sights and sounds of the Bahrain Turf Series 2022. We'll see you again next year.